Eye of Horus podcast contains adult content. The smooth sounds of Darude. Welcome to the Eye of Horus podcast, season 1, episode 11, coming to you from beautiful Queensland in Australia.
Well, it's beautiful now. It wasn't a few days ago.
Yeah, yesterday, there was, the day before, it was like a fucking torrent of shit came out of the sky. That was ridiculous. My lovely co-host Michael is here.
Once again, hello everybody.
What the fuck happened? There was more rain than
it was the ruin storm. It was our version of the ruin storm.
Well, it almost ruined my house, I can tell you that. It's fucking ridiculous.
A lot of damage.
Yeah. So anyway, we are live. Well, we're not actually live, are we? But we are coming to you through the power, mystery, and majesty of the internet, from our mouths into your ear holes. So, we've got a packed show today.
Yeah, got another big show once again. So we're going to talk about what we've been doing. We're quite busy this week, actually, getting ready for Inferno 2. So talk about that. Some host questions once again. See what's new from Forge World this week, which is quite exciting for a lot of people I know.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking forward to. After the break, Andrew from Oz30K is going to join us to have a bit of a wrap-up, Chat wrap. About Inferno that went down yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's all fresh in our brains.
Yeah, he came up from the ACT for it, which for foreign people is what, like?
Australian Capital Territory?
How far away is it? 2,000 kilometers?
Yeah,
1,000? 1,500?
1,500, 1,700. Let's go 1,700.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking far away.
And he's going to join us to have a chat about Inferno yesterday, and also make a big announcement regarding Active Heresy.
Big announcements. We love big announcements.
Yeah, it's a first. And as always, we'll close out the show with a bit of a wrap-up and some listener letters and stuff.
Yeah, shit. We've got a bunch of emails from people that came in during the week. It was awesome. So we're going to reply to you. If somehow we miss your email, just shoot us a reminder. We read every single email that comes through, but last week we were super busy. Every now and then we might miss something, but just remind us. We're not trying to fucking blackball you, man. We're not trying to what's it called when you neg? We're not negging.
We're peacocking. No, we don't peacock.
We're not peacocking.
So, quick question: what was with Darude?
Oh well, that was our psych-up music.
Yeah, for Inferno, our victory at Inferno. But more on that later.
Yeah, we were
Dorita
listening.
synonymous with victory.
We were listening to that while we were airbrushing and getting high on fumes, and then we just decided that Sandstorm was the greatest song of our generation.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd open with that because should we tell people, or should we have a spoiler alert for later in the show?
Let's just drop that.
Sorry, Danny, we fucking crossed you. So, yep, the Loyalists came home with another victory.
Yeah, it's 2 from 2 now.
Yeah, so Michael's drinking from his victory mug. We're just like, this is the victory podcast.
This is the day after.
Yeah, Danny's going to be listening to this, just fucking going like, fuck you guys, I'm going to kill you. But we're sorry, man. Your team let you down, what can we say?
Better luck next time, little fella.
What you need to do next time is just come with less preparation, or 0 preparation like
we did.
Just fucking fluke it. Anyway, we'll talk about that a bit more after the break.
Yeah.
Let's get into host questions. Is that what we usually do?
We will today. Usually we do what we've been up to first.
Oh, yeah, fuck. I always get that wrong.
Yeah, no, that's why we write it down.
All right, let's just do fucking host questions.
All right.
So here's my host question. I'll start off.
Send it.
What is your favorite painting style? And then 2 sub-questions to that. What's your favorite painting style to do? And what is your favorite painting style to look at? So, do you like looking? Do you like body painting, female models, and looking at Verlinden catalogs?
Oh, okay.
Or do you? No, I mean model painting. Obviously.
Oh, okay.
Not supermodel painting.
Yeah. All right. I'd have to say I love the ultra realistic effect of like 1/35th modelers. Speaking of Verlinden and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do they do with that? That's airbrushing, right?
Some guys do hand paint, but majority is airbrushing. So, but I really like that realistic look. I think that's just what I.
That's what we started with, right?
That's what we started with.
Back when we were fucking 12 or whatever.
Yeah, doing 1/35th Tamiya Navy SEALs and shit.
Yeah, Tamiya Navy SEALs.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, I didn't do any of that. I only did Nazis.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I only did stuff that was in Hugo Boss fucking uniforms.
Yeah.
But
he makes delightful uniforms.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I would actually like to go back and paint some of that 1/35th shit now that I actually know how to paint.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I've got that Tiger 2 upstairs. It's unpainted.
Let's do it.
It's got half Zimmerit coating on it. I should go back.
And that's why I kind of like the 30k style of painting, because I've taken a lot of things that I've seen people do with that and put that into the 30k tabletop.
Yeah, it seems like in the 40k there's pretty much every tournament, right? There's always one dude with an Imperial Guard army painted in like SS Autumn Cam and everyone, hyper realistic and weathering and all that sort of shit. But that's basically generally it, right?
Yeah, there's
only 1 or 2 in a 40k tournament, but 30k,
everyone's.
Yeah, a lot of people have taken the lead from Forge World basically, and Forge World's awesome. They do that, the weathering, the hyper realistic. Well, not hyper realistic, but
more realistic than like looking through a Rogue Trader era Games Workshop catalog with Goblin Green bases and
the version 2 Elder Codex.
Yeah, looking at it these days, I used to like go, wow, that's amazing, but now it looks pretty gaudy.
Yeah, I reckon. But the thing is, like, if you look at those models from V2, like especially Elder, or just any of those models really, you couldn't have really done that really crisp painting because the detail wasn't really there.
Yeah, all these like CAD designed models.
Yeah, they're so fucking crisp.
Yeah, so crisp, and it's like excellent to pick out detail.
Yeah, you put the oils on and they just they go in all the right spots.
Does the work itself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then what's your favorite style to do?
Airbrushing, definitely. Whether it's mainly to do like sort of how we paint.
Airbrushing and shading.
Yeah, it's good therapy.
And then you hand brush stuff as well, do you?
A little bit. Since I've got to my airbrush, I haven't hand painted anything for a few years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Even my Space Marines, they're all airbrush now.
Yeah, well, since airbrushing, like, I don't know, I find it so fast. That's my favorite style, is whatever's the fastest.
Yeah. So when I do my Empress Jordan, I'm going for a different style. I'm going to do all, like, not Anime Bright, not version 2 Eldar Codex,
Chibi?
but it's going to be...
Chibi?
There no Chibi, but it's going to be less weathering, and it's going to be more highlighting and more sort of... More...
Highlighting?
Yeah, it's going to be more highlighting.
What? So no battle damage and shit?
No.
Well, so it's going to be high... So at the moment, your Imperial Fists are, like, highly weathered.
Yeah.
I would say.
They're combat orientated.
Especially that bunker you just painted. That's like weathered as fuck. It looks like it's been on the rain for 10,000 years.
Yeah, so they're my combat veterans, and these guys, I want to make my Empress Jordan total show ponies, like just ready to rock. So it's going to be lots of bright, shiny panels and highlighting.
There's a legion of show ponies. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But they can back it up.
Yeah, so I want to do, because every project I do, I want to do something totally different painting-wise. I don't want to paint the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, that makes sense. Excellent.
So what about yours? What's your favorite?
Well, as I said, my favorite is whatever's fucking fastest to paint an entire army. I just like painting tons of shit because I don't know, I just feel like I can't run the same army more than once, especially not in a tournament. Like, I can, obviously, I'll play a tournament with the same army, but I like being able to just choose a whole bunch of different shit, and I'm constantly just...
It's evolving.
I'm constantly evolving storylines and shit in my head, which I should actually write down at some point, but... so adding new stuff is my number one thing, and I found that just getting the base colors airbrushed and then weathering them and then doing the oils and stuff like that and sort of picking out small detail in different colors, I found that to be like really fucking awesome. Oh, that's what I gotta ask you. This black wash.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is it? This Game Ink by
Vallejo.
Yeah, Vallejo. Is this just dog shit or what? It's Negro Black.
No, it's good.
Is this just dog shit? Because I can't get it. It goes really. It's too dark or something.
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
I have to have a look at it unless it is like dog shit, and then I'm wrong.
Yeah, taste that for me, will you? Tell me. Too much pigment?
Could do with a little bit of thinner. No,
12% too much pigment.
Yeah, it's
Should I water it down or something? It ends up being too dark. Like I did the robes on my Myrmidons, and it just ended up being really black. And I had to
I'd use Games Workshop Null Oil.
I went back to that.
Yeah, well, I think that's a difference because that's a ink and a wash.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on it, but there is a difference.
Yeah, do you reckon Games Workshop... So I really like those Vallejo paints, but Games Workshop washes just seem to be fucking king shit, right?
Yeah. I'd never use Games Workshop paint. I would die probably before I ever use their paints again, but their washes are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely...
You mean in an airbrush?
In an airbrush.
Paint to airbrush it,
yeah,
right?
you just can't...
If you were painting, like, 1990s Eldar...
Oh, def, yeah.
By
hand.
Unmixed, no palette.
Yeah.
Straight from the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so that's my favorite thing. And to look at, I don't know, actually, the only thing that my eyes do not enjoy is non-metallic or non-metal metallic. What the fuck? Some people have written in and told us what the hell it is, but I forget.
We're fucking savages.
I don't know. I just look at it and I go, you can, but it's just not metal. Like, it just looks like...
Ooh,
it looks
what about Infinity-style painting?
Even that just looks like...
Really?
Like, you can tell that it's not metallic.
Yeah, but it looks good, though. It's a fucking lot of talent to paint that.
Would we say it looks good? I would not say that it looks good. You might say it looks good. But you've got, like, a cultured painting eye, whereas I just look at it and go, if that's meant to be metal, just do it fucking metal, mate. Like, that's why there's a whole range of fucking metallic paints. Like, it just looks... Yeah. It doesn't look like a fucking real thing.
To the fact that you're a fucking savage.
I am willing to be a painting savage. That's fine. All right, what's your question? I'm going to sit here and sip my fucking Jaeger bomb while you tell me a question.
It's one of our official sponsors, I think.
Sponsored by Jaeger and
the show
bombs.
runs on Jaeger. Yeah. Okay, so out of all the Primarchs, 18 Primarchs are going to be released.
Oh, man.
I love Primarch questions because I'm obsessed with the models.
They're pretty controversial there.
Yeah, okay, so this is one, it's just you gesticulating your thoughts.
Yeah.
What do you think, based on all the background, all the fluff, is going to be the best looking Primarch model in the end?
In the end?
Yeah, I'm talking after they're all released in the washer.
Demon Primarchs and shit?
No, just the standard ones that we've seen now.
Bog standard Crusade era Primarchs. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Vulcan just looks so fucking good.
Yeah, but obviously they're probably going to get better. There's different Primarchs coming out. Yeah. Like, okay, I'll help you out here. I think
Nighthorn I've got pretty close.
I think Sun Genius in the end is probably going to be one of the best looking Primarchs, model-wise. Yeah, I'm not talking rules, stats, or anything. Just I think he's going to have the most impressive Primarch model.
What if they get Trish Carden in to do it?
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Oh, yeah, that's a try. Like, I think that...
And why? I just think he's going to be impressive because he's so going to be ostentatious, ornamental looking, and it's got wings.
Yeah, the wings are going to be pretty good. I think Leman Russ is going to look pretty good. Fucking Magnus the Red's going to look pretty good, I would say.
Yeah.
I think that some of the later models as well are moving a bit, like especially Nighthorner, are looking a bit more Blanchian. Do you reckon?
Yeah, they're looking a bit grimmer, but I think that's maybe just because that's his aspect. He's a pretty gothic, psycho-looking dude.
Just darkness psycho.
Just vampires and shit.
Yeah, it's tough. Do you think that Jagged Khan is going to be on a bike?
Yeah, fucking A.
Or do you think he'll be on a jet bike?
What's
What's he on the books? Is he on a fucking robo horse, or is he on a jet bike, or standing on the back of a rhino?
I'd be quite disappointed if he's not on anything, but now you've got me worried.
I reckon what he'll be on is a Sikaran battle tank, right? But you take the turret off and put a chair, like a saddle on there.
A howdah.
You know how you go to some of those bars and they've got, instead of having like bar stools, they've just got like a fucking saddle?
Yeah, at the Pato.
Yeah, like the Pato Tavern. I think there'll be one of those, and then he'll be on the back with like a power bow. You know, like the Parthenian serpent relic?
Yeah,
but he'll have an even better one, like a Primarch level one. Maybe it's like shoot strength 10 bolts.
See, that'd be pretty impressive.
On the back of a Sikaran. So you can just pivot around like a stool.
Yeah.
That may not be the case.
Yeah.
That may not be the case. I reckon he'd be on a jet bike.
I reckon he'd be on a jet bike too.
Have you read any of the books with him in it? Are there any? There must be books with him in it, right?
I think there's only Brotherhood of the... probably get a lot of hate mail about this, but I've only read Brotherhood of the Storm.
Feedback.
Yeah, hate mail, feedback. We love it. Send it. I've only read Brotherhood of the Storm with the White Scars, and in that, he's only in it for a little while, and he just slays some massive orc that's the size of a Primarch, and then just goes, well, that's an easy day's work. So he's not actually on anything.
Is he on foot?
No, he just rocks up with some dudes on this oil refinery.
On foot?
Yeah, and just murders this orc. So that's it.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm not sure if there's another book where he's in it cruising around on a bike or a jet bike.
You could ride a jet bike on an oil refinery, surely. Anyone,
Yeah.
For all the oil refinery workers out there listening to the podcast.
You rode a motorbike.
Yeah, we know you're out there. Do you reckon you could drive a jet bike around in your oil rig? Write in, tell us. Also, if you're like an expert on the Khan and you've read all of the fluff about him, or read all of the stories about him, write in and tell us, because we literally have no idea. Because I think if he was on a motorbike doing like a fucking awesome wheelie and just going like, yeah! Like, that could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But either him or Singenius have got to be the biggest models in terms of size, right? Because if bike...
Well, isn't Magnus supposed to be a giant?
Oh, I mean in terms of, like, full model size.
Okay.
I don't think Magnus will be as big as Singenius with wings. Depending on how he has his wings.
Yeah.
But, do you reckon Singenius will be flying, like, a couple of inches off the base on a stem?
Breaking a Bloodthirster over his knee?
Ah, shit, that could be cool. Yeah, I don't know, it's tough. I think Russ or Sanguinus.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it? Sanguinus? Singenius?
I say Sangenius.
I think we say
Sangenius,
mate.
We're Australia. We can pronounce things how we want. Just
exactly.
People presume we have regional. A law. Yeah, it's regional. Yeah, we're Region 7 or something.
Either which one do you reckon? You're saying Sanguinus?
Yeah, Sanguinus, and then closely by the Lion.
You reckon that'll be good?
Yeah, it'll be king shit.
I don't know.
I've got a newfound love for him now.
I don't think there's any Dark Angels fans out there.
There is.
I think they'll leave him to the last. Which one do you reckon will be the last Primarch they do?
Ooh.
White Scars guy?
Shit.
The Emperor? I believe the Emperor to the last. Well, I guess he's not a Primarch.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what will be last. Shit. I had a really good idea for it, but it's gone. I reckon it'll probably be the Lion. I reckon the Lion will be one of the last ones.
Last.
Yeah.
Because the rumors were that... So this is book 5 coming out in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Or so we think. And then the next book rumored was meant to be Blood Angels and Demons and Dark
Cygnus
Angels.
Cluster.
Yeah, and Dark Angels and Dark Mechanicum. That was one of the rumors.
The Khan still not released.
Yeah,
who else?
I think
that's it.
The Khan.
Magnus. He's no.
Magnus and Russ. They'll be out together probably.
Yep.
I don't know.
Ooh, exciting times.
Yeah, so there are a bunch out. Obviously, the models for Dawn. The model for Dawn isn't out yet.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be so impressive because he'll have a huge chainsaw.
Maybe he won't be.
Who else isn't out? Alpha Legion guy.
Yeah.
Alpharius. Oh yeah, Korax. Korax should be good with his fucking Thulsa Doom haircut.
Yeah, that's metal hair. I want to see him hair milling when I cut someone in half.
Did I email you that picture of the cover art from that new Raven Guard book that's come out? Where he's like flying on the cover and he's got like super Thulsa Doom hair.
Yeah.
It's just like,
it's rad.
It's not even moving. He's just flying, he's got a jetpack or wings or whatever the fuck he's got. And yeah, his hair's just set there, Thulsa Doom style.
Yeah. So, moving right along from Primark talk.
Yeah, let's move along, because we're going to get some fucking mail over that.
Yeah.
Guarantee.
We just, yeah.
All those oil.
What have you been doing this week?
Well, I was just painting a whole bunch of shit for Inferno. So I didn't get my void shield generator done though because of the deluge. I was pushing water out of the front door, trying not to let my house flood for most of the day.
Priorities.
Yeah, I know.
Doing it wrong.
So I ended up running a slightly different list. I'll talk about that in the next section. I'll just quickly go through my list. I had two lists. I had the attacker list and my garrison list. But because of how the campaign worked, I ended up doing 3 fucking defender missions in a row for
That's
all
good.
the games. So
you use all your new stuff.
Yeah, but I didn't get to use my shadow sword,
Nah.
my attacker list. But yeah, so yeah, I got to use all my fortifications and just play like a dwarf style army for the whole day, which was good. But yeah, I brought 2,000 points of extra shit I didn't get to use, but that's alright.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got some Vorax. I really want to get those Vorax done now, and I've still got another 2 Castellax with multi-melders and siege wreckers to go. So what's that? That's 8 models. So I might get those started. I'm going to order another 2 Darkfire Castellax as well. So I've got 3 maniples of 5. But yeah, Vorax. That's what I'm going to start working on this week. Start clipping them up and stuff. And I've still got. I've got to get a new base for my knight.
Yep.
For my castigator. So Games Workshop apparently sell the bases now.
Good.
The knight bases, so you can get them separately. What else have I got to buy? Oh, and then I got to get one of those big templates. You know those the 10-inch, the ordnance one, which has got the 10-inch and the 7-inch.
Yep.
Apparently, I think they're sold out at the moment. So I've got to try and figure out what my login is for Games Workshop site, because you can tell it to send you an email when they're back in stock, but to do that you have to log in.
Yeah. And
it's not accepting any of my passwords.
And it's locked out completely forever.
Well, I don't know. I told it to send me an email, and it just never sent me an email.
Son of a bitch.
So, I don't know. Good work, Games Workshop. Get your shit together, guys. But yeah, that's pretty... Oh, and also, I got to get one of those plasma obliterators.
Yeah, you do. I saw that when I was picking up something the other day. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's going to be fucking awesome. I'm going to modify it up, and then next Inferno, I might run a Castellan list, so I can take 4 fortifications.
Nice.
Fully turtled up.
Well, speaking of fortifications, that's what I was working on last week.
Yeah.
I painted my bunker up to use it in Inferno, and it was looking like I wasn't going to get to use it until I finally got a defender game in the last round. And yeah, it was good to go. I rate it. I'll definitely play fortifications again.
So did it protect your last cannon, guys?
Yeah, it did. It made my opponent at the time just go, there's no point in just sinking trying to kill the las cannons because I have to go through the bunker first, and then meh. So I was like, alright, cool.
And then what, they just died under your guns?
Yeah. Pretty much.
So
that's a tale for another time.
So you didn't have those las cannon guys in your attacker list?
I had 5, and in my defender list I had 8 to take full maximum benefit of the bunker.
How did they go when they weren't in the bunker?
When they weren't in the bunker?
Yeah.
They were fucking the most useless guys on the list, apart from my Vindicator, who didn't fire a single shot the entire game.
So is that 5 of them, all 5 of them have las cannons?
Yeah, a sergeant and 4 dudes.
How many points is that? Like 200?
I didn't want to talk about it because it makes me cry. And they did nothing.
So you might as well have just had an 1,800 point list.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Okay, and what are you working on now? Fellblade? Send your Fellblade?
No, I'm going to finish my Mars landing pad because we need some terrain for our table.
Yeah.
Then it's Fellblade time.
Jesus, that fucking Fellblade needs to get done,
I was looking at it the other day going, I love you, but...
You want to play against my dug-in fucking castle?
I do, right? Yeah, okay. I want to play against that list.
Get your Fellblade done. I'll get that Void Shield generator done. And I'll work on my Plasma Obliterator as well.
Done.
Then we can play a fucking mega game.
Yeah, on our new table.
Alright.
When we finish it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've got to get back over there and do some more work. Okay, so... Next up, we have news/rumors, and this week.
What's new? What's new?
Let's start off with the smaller of the 2 items. And I don't mean smaller in terms of price. I don't think they're probably the same price, aren't they?
I'm not sure. But...
Yep, in terms of price and in terms of stature, we'll start off with the Solar Auxilia Tactical Command. squad.
Nice.
So this is pretty fucking sick. Oh,
Yep.
you get the... Okay, so I thought it would just be the squad, just the 5 guys. But it looks like you also get the Lord Marshal in there as well. So they're not selling him separately.
No.
It's an interesting decision.
Well, if you want him, you want the rest of the guys anyway, I think.
Well, you don't have to take them. You can just take him on his own.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's better to have the option than not have it.
Yeah.
I can see your point where if you genuinely don't want the rest of the guys, it is a bit expensive just to get that miniature.
Bam, throw them in the trash, keep the...
Yeah.
So they've got some pictures. Oh fuck! They've got some pictures of the Lord Marshal painted up too. That's pretty sick. Okay, so for you guys following along at home, it's the Solar Auxilia Tactical Command. So this is a 5-man tactical command squad. They are called in the rules the Auxilia Tactical Command Section, and then on top of that, you also get the Legate Commander model, who can also be you can upgrade him to a Lord Marshal. So, the models look fucking great. If you just go to Forge World /new stuff, or Forge World, and then click on the
some
new
amazing
button.
Detail on the Lord Marshal.
Yeah, so
especially on the back.
Have these ones been computer designed, or?
I'm not sure. I think they have. They look really crisp and really finely detailed. So.
Yeah, they look fucking great. Okay, so we'll go through the. Should we go through the pictures first? We can't really... What are we going to do? Just describe how fucking awesome they look? I think we've already done that.
I think everyone should just go and have a look for themselves.
Yeah, go and have a look right now. We'll hold. We'll wait for you to look it up. Just wait 5 minutes.
Anyway, while we're doing that, I'm going to click between... If you have a look at the pictures and you click the furthest picture on the left, on the second row, and the very middle picture, and you click between them really fast, helmet goes on, helmet goes off, helmet goes on, helmet goes off, helmet goes on, helmet goes off. It's like a flip book. It's really cool.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a cool helmet, too.
Yeah. So obviously you must get that option, which is really good.
Yeah, head swapsies. That's pretty cool. So what is in this squad? It looks like you get the Strategos. You get 2 guys with special weapons. It looks like there might be a combination, or it looks like you might get a variety of different weapons. Have they got a picture of just all the stuff? No, they don't.
But there's a lot of options for this squad, so it wouldn't surprise me at the amount of stuff that you get to make up all the different options.
Yeah, so they're not even Velatara. Are they in Velatara somewhere? They look like they're even better than Velatara.
They look different. There's like guys with special weapons with epaulets and swords by their side and all sorts of stuff. Yeah. So they look different again.
Yeah, the veteran, they all have epaulets. It's fucking rad. So they've got the void hardened armor, but also epaulets. Okay, well, let's go through the rules for these guys anyway. So first of all, we'll go through Legate Commander. We'll just go through this really quickly because you guys have probably already seen this. So pretty good stats. Weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, strength 3, toughness 3, wounds 3, initiative 3, 2 attacks, leadership 9, and then you can upgrade to a Lord Marshal for 35 points. In which case he goes up to 80 points. Weapon skill 4, strength 3, toughness 3, wounds 3, initiative 4, 3 attacks, leadership 10, 4+. Comes with void hardened armor, close combat weapon, las pistol, whole bunch of different frag and crack grenades, and a refractor field. And then there's probably not as many options as a Archmagos, but probably as many options as a Centurion. So yeah, you've got a whole bunch of crazy shit in there. You've got Inferno pistols, which are pretty good, Archotech pistol, Paragon blade, which is decent. Obviously, you can take digital lasers. You can take a Cyber Familiar. So I think with an Iron Halo and a Cyber Familiar, you can give them a 3+ invulnerable.
Like goddamn Gravwave projector thing.
Yep, Gravwave projector, which is great. What's that? Reduces charge distance by D3.
Yeah.
You can give him Artificer armor, which you're always going to give him. You can make one of his weapons mastercrafted, so you probably want to go for the mastercrafted Paragon blade there. Give him Artificer armor. Give him a 3+ invulnerable with the Iron Halo and the Cyber Familiar. Give him a Gravwave generator to keep people from just charging your shit, or at least to slow them down. Give him digital lasers, so he's got 4 attacks, 5 on the charge. Or an Paragon blade is a specialist weapon, isn't it? So yes. 4 attacks on the charge with the Paragon blade's pretty decent. And then if you upgrade him to be a Lord Marshal, it allows you to choose your Warlord trait. And there's a Warlord trait which gives you Eternal Warrior. So If you've got your shit together, you're definitely going to go for that combo because you can just fucking one-shot.
This guy can really mix it with Praetors.
Yeah, decapitate Praetors, Centurions, that sort of thing. Or Archmagos, if you need to.
Yeah.
Especially against, Mechanicum Archmagos and that sort of thing. Because they have so few attacks, it's unlikely that an Archmagos is going to be able to kill you outright, especially if you've got 3 wounds in Eternal Warrior. So pretty good. What are the special rules for these? High Command. As long as a model with the special rules on the table and not falling back or engaged in an assault, all friendly units from the same detachment may use this model's leadership value rather than their own. Pretty fucking good.
That is good. That is really
leadership
good.
10. Household retinue, so that basically allows you to upgrade or take a Velataris squadron as an elite's choice. And that also gives them preferred enemy infantry. So pretty cool. You can take that guy and give him, or take that guy, put him in a unit of Velataris and give them all power axes. They've got power axes with preferred enemy infantry.
Yeah,
I think that's what Spencer was running.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, because they were pretty powerful.
Yeah, and then I mean, since those medics are really cheap too, it's like 30. What are they, like 15 points each or something like that? 60 points for 3, so 20 points each.
Yeah.
Give them feel no pain. You make a pretty decent squad there. Okay, moving along to the tactical command section itself. So this is one of those like sort of crazy combo squads that you get, like basically like what would you call it? Like the Magos Auxilia units from Mechanicum.
Yeah, they just hang out with your commander and give him a lot of benefits and upbladed wounds from shooting, basically.
Exactly. So there's 4 different unit types in this. You get a Strategos, who has basically Velataris stats except 2 attacks and 2 wounds. You get a Vexillarius, who is like a standard bearer guy, has the same stats as a Velataris. A Proclamator, same stats as Velataris, and then Veteran Auxiliaries. So they are, I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same stats as Velataris as well. Now, each one of those different types, so you get one of each of those. Sorry, 1 Strategos, 1 Proclamator, 1 Vexillarius, and 2 Veteran Auxiliaries. And the Veteran Auxiliaries, they can take... 2 of them can take a special weapon, so grenade launcher, flamer, rotor cannon, melter gun, plasma gun. Rotor cannon.
Yeah, it'll come in handy later.
I'll tell you what's good though, grenade launchers with those fucking Tempest rounds, they're haywire.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Fuck off tanks. Pretty good with BS4. You can take up to 5 additional Veteran Auxilia, so that's an interesting thing. You can't buy those Veteran Auxilia separately. So in the squad that they present on their website, you get 5 of those guys with 2 Veteran Auxilias, but you can't buy them separately. So if you want to go for the full squad of 10, you'd have to get...
normal guys, I guess.
You have to buy 3 squads. It's kind of annoying, but that's alright.
It's normal guys with las guns.
Yeah.
Las rifles, rather.
Yeah. So these guys have all the usual Solar Auxilia shit, Discipline Fire, Discipline Command, all that sort of stuff. The way that these guys are different from each other is Strategos has a Cognis Signum, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Plus on BS, works like a Nuncio Vox, all that sort of shit. So you can use that to give, like rapier batteries, BS 5
or even if you got like those dudes with haywire grenades, just pump those into the tank at fucking BS 5.
BS 5, yeah, pretty good. He also gives you, he has a precision bombardment. So this is a range unlimited, strength 9, AP 2. Ordnance 1 barrage pinning large blast shot. You only get 1 shot, you don't get D3.
I like that better than the
D3 strength 8
D3 strength 8 AP3. Like that is perfect for assassinating characters out of large squads.
Yeah, exactly.
Barrage.
Strength 9 and AP2. Drop that on top of Erebus's head.
Yeah.
And then hit 9 other guys, and he's got to take 9 lookout sirs in a row. And if he fails any of those, he's fucking annihilated.
He's dead.
Yeah, pretty good. So that's the Strategos. The Strategos as well, he can be your general. He's like a high level officer. So if you can take this squad as your HQ choice. It isn't a HQ choice, but you can take that and then you designate the Strategos to be your warlord.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty cool.
Only leadership 8 though.
Yeah, only leadership 8, which sucks, but yeah, if you want to take a small allied force or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea, yeah.
Well, the whole squad is 75 points. How much is a Legate Commander starts at 45? You're probably going to go over 100 points with that. I don't know.
You can still make a pretty cheap AQ
list.
choice and still have Leadership 10 army-wide, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Precision Bombardiment's good. Fucking Cognos Signum's pretty good. The Vexillarius guy, he has a Cohort Vexilla. What does a Cohort Vexilla do? Do you know what that does?
No, not
Alright, you look it up. I'll keep going along.
Alright.
The Proclamator has a Nuncio Vox. Pretty decent, I guess. I think a Cognos Signum works like a Nuncio Vox anyway. So it's interesting. Why would he have a Nuncio Vox as well? I don't know. Maybe if a Vindicator Assassin fucking head shoots your Strategos or something. And then you've got, the 2 Veteran Exilia guys in there too. And as I said before, you can add up to 5 more Veteran Exilia, but those 5, or only 2 of them can take a special weapon. So, interesting. Strategos has a couple of options. You can take a Blast Pistol, Charnable Saber, Needle Pistol, Hand Flamer, Plasma Pistol, Power Weapon, or a Power Fist. So, that you should be keeping that guy the fuck out of combat anyway. It's kind of like the Imperial Guard Command Squad, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. They can take an Arvis Lighter or a Dracosan. So this is a good squad to put in the Dracosan with a Demolisher Cannon and a Flare Shield on the front.
Just keep them nice and safe.
Yeah, so decent unit. Models are fucking incredible.
As usual.
Yeah.
Love it.
So what's that Vexil?
I've had no luck fucking finding it.
Oh, haven't you? Alright, you talk and I'll look it up.
Alright, we're gonna have to cut this bit because I got nothing to say about that unit because it's pretty sweet.
Okay, so Cohort Vexilla is a unit which contains a model with a Cohort Vexilla, has the benefits of a Troop Vexilla, see previously. In addition, any friendly unit from the Solar Exilia army with models within 24 inches of a Cohort Vexilla may ignore casualties when taking morale checks. So that's pretty good. That gives you basically 24-inch range, just like the Iron Warriors rule, right? So no casualties from getting shot at. That's pretty decent.
That's good.
I mean,
considering you're only toughness 3, you're gonna get ripped up by a lot of stuff.
Yeah, especially those big 20-man units. As soon as they lose 5, you don't want the other 15 just fucking off. The Troop Vexilla is a unit that contains a model with the Troop Vexilla, counts as scoring an additional wound for the purposes of calculating combat results, and may always attempt to regroup regardless of having been reduced to below 25% casualties. So that's pretty good. I think you can upgrade all of the basic Solar Exilia units to have a Cohort Vexilla, or at least the big 20-man squads. So that's pretty good. Makes them sort of gives them sort of part some of the rules of the Space Marines, which is decent. All right. Anything else to add about those guys?
They're rad. I really like them.
Models are awesome.
Sweet models. Good rules. If I had an SA army, I'd definitely probably run that.
Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, imagine, you're not having to take casualties when taking morale checks within 24 inches of that. Plus, the Legate Commander is giving everyone Leadership 10. Pretty decent.
That's really good. Because the last thing you want is just a big 20-man unit. It's just running away from defensive lines.
Getting into combat, getting smashed up. So, Leadership 10, I don't know. I wonder what the benefit of that is, because it's only 2 extra leadership, and the number of casualties you're going to take in combat against Marines is going to be ridiculous. You would think, wouldn't you?
No, especially not with the Valataris. They put up a good fight against my breaches.
Oh, really?
They were winning rounds of combat, and it was me who broke from them.
They had power axes, though.
Yeah, they did. But, yeah, they're not bad.
Yeah, it's interesting
that 4+ armor save is really good.
Yeah, it's interesting there's no rule for outnumbering the enemy in close combat. Like, in fantasy, you get stubborn if you outnumber the enemy.
Yeah, and you just get +1 combat res if you stay outnumbered.
Yeah, it'd be good if you had. Yeah, it'd be good if you had that, like that rule in fantasy, I guess. Oh, sorry, in heresy, I guess. But, that is beyond the scope of our investigation here. So let's go on to the big new release that's got everyone's jaws flapping. Samus from Metroid.
Samus is here.
Wait, it's not Samus from Metroid, is it?
No.
This doesn't look like Samus at all.
No, wait.
This looks like a giant dog man. This isn't like a woman bounty hunter from the future.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed at the start, but now I'm down with it.
Yeah, so this is like a fucking insane dog man. This is what we've been talking about, people
cosplaying.
Cosplaying.
I want to see people dressed up as this.
Or a furry. It's not even really that furry.
I'm sure it's got fur on it somewhere.
Now that I look at it, it doesn't look furry at all. It looks more like just fleshy.
Look under his bone apron.
It's got a bone apron. So this model is... What size base do you reckon that's on? Like, holy shit, there's a picture of it next to Marines. Have you seen that?
It's big. It's like, well, to put it in perspective, in the palm of one of his hands, he's just holding a Space Marine torso, just going, no biggie.
Is that a Space Marine torso?
Yeah, look at his right hand. That thing is clenched around an Ultramarine's torso.
What? No, he's holding us. Oh, sorry. There's two different ways you can configure it, looks like. See, there's an open hand.
Oh, yeah, there is too.
And then also bundle of flesh hand.
Yeah, I'd always go bundle of flesh hand.
How do you tell that's a torso?
There's a shot from behind where he's actually holding it, and you
Shot
can go,
from behind.
oh, wow. Dude's actually holding a Space Marine torso.
Oh, that's just cruel. Yeah, well...
And it's an Ultramarine.
So what do you think about it? Go.
I love it. It's pretty cool. It's exactly what I thought a kind of generic demonic monstrosity would look like.
Well, it is Khorne. It is Khornate.
Yes, it is. But it's just like, it's not a bloodthirster, it's just some massive vile demon that looks, yeah.
So is it not a greater demon, it's just a demon king?
I think it's just a demon king.
Yeah.
That's be better than a demon prince.
So, it's just, look how huge it is. I can't believe how huge it is. Also, why has it got armor on just one let's not go into that. That's a slippery slope. We'll never fucking finish. We'll never finish talking about it if we talk about why is one part of its leg armored, most of it not. But so initial thoughts are, holy shit, that's a huge model. It kind of looks like it's bending over to take a shit from some angles. It's got a huge dog head. That's a good callback to the 80s. The 80s like Khornate shit, having like a huge hound head. So I was looking around some forums and everyone's saying, Samus is here, Samus is here. What's that all about? Is that what he says in one of the books, is it?
I don't think so, not to the best of my memory, but I guess it's here. Everyone's been waiting for it.
Here's Samus.
If this doesn't start a whole lot of goddamn word-bearer armies after the Dreadnought and the Galvor back, I don't know what will.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go through his rules because...
They're king shit.
Games Workshop have nicely dropped some experimental rules for him. So 375 goddamn points.
That's a lot of points for this guy because he's got some obvious weaknesses.
Yeah, so would we say he's better than a Primarch? If you just look at his raw stats, he's better than a Primarch. His weapon skill 9, so that's what? Fulgrim is weapon skill 9, is he? Or I think he's got the same weapon skill as Angron, right?
Yeah, I think
Angron's
so.
9?
I'm not unsure.
Okay. Well, ballistic skill 5.
It's high. It's bloody high.
Yeah, ballistic skill 5. Not that he's going to be shooting shit. Strength 7, toughness 7. That's like tough Primarch stats. That's like Vulcan stats.
That's an issue.
6 wounds. Initiative fucking 9.
That's incredible.
So he's going. If Fulgrim tries to step up to him, he's going before Fulgrim, which is crazy. 5 attacks. So not super great, not super bad. Leadership fucking 10. Not that that's going to really come into it that much.
He won't be losing combat much.
He's got a whole list of special rules, like a fucking shopping receipt. Demon of Khorne, Deep Strike, Fearless, Fleet, Hatred, Infantry, It Will Not Die, Born of Murder, Whispers of Madness, and Adamantium Will. So if you run him in an Age of Darkness game, you have to use him... you can use him as a HQ in a Codex Chaos Demons primary detachment in an Age of Darkness game.
Okay.
So
if I'm taking word bearers...
No, well, it says primary detachment.
Ooh, maybe this is from Book 5.
So does that mean demons are endorsed for 30k?
Maybe in Book 5.
Yeah, maybe Book 5. Because at the moment, and in the Book 4 in the Book 4 Conquest in the campaign system there, doesn't list Chaos Demons as being one of the campaign armies, so that's interesting. Yep. Okay, so Demon Prince of the Ruinstorm. He gets this rule if he's being played in the Horus Heresy. If you're playing him in 40k, then you don't get this rule because there's no fucking Ruinstorm, obviously.
Yep.
All units in the same detachment as a Warlord with a demonic instability special rule may reroll a single d6 when taking the demonic instability test. That's pretty good.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. While the Warlord is on the battlefield, on any roll of a double on the Warp Storm table for their army, the Warlord's owning player may substitute the Warp Surge result for the result rolled if they wish. So you're gonna wanna fucking switch that out depending on how it goes. I'm not really fucking
Yeah, I was
on
just
the
looking
demon
at
list
that
anyway.
going, what? I haven't even read that codex for 40k.
Oh, haven't you?
No, I'm so out of touch with 40k at the
Maybe we
moment.
should look that up. Who gives a shit? We'll worry about it once they're in front of us. So he has this thing called the Slaughtering Blade, which is some sort of magic sword, it looks
awesome.
like.
Yeah.
Strength as user, so 7. AP 2.
Pretty rad.
Melee, Armor Bane, Murderous Strike.
Well, he's pretty much... I can't think of anything apart from Castellax or Primarchs he's not going to wound on a 2 anyway.
No, it's Armor Bane.
Oh, you're right. It is too. Sorry. I thought I said that. I should learn to read.
The 2d6 pen.
Should be less retarded in future.
So you can just take a run at a Land Raider and totally fuck it up.
Yeah, definitely.
Murderous Strike is what a Paragon Blade has. So
yeah,
on a 6
6s you'll just
death.
cut a head off.
If this guy is up in your shit, hacking at your characters, it's pretty much you've
game over, man.
You screwed the pooch there somehow. Anyway. Born of Murder. Samus must begin play in reserve and must enter play via Deep Strike. If any model with the character type is killed on any turn before Samus is deployed, so that's any model with a character type.
So Veteran Sergeants.
Well, it could be, doesn't say friend or foe.
Oh.
Place a counter or other marker within 3 inches of the spot where they died. When arriving via Deep Strike, if Samus's player elects to do so, any of these points may be chosen as the target for his Deep Strike arrival, in which case he is placed without the need to roll for mishap or scatter. Note that there must be space for Samus's model to be placed, and it cannot be placed within 1 inch of enemy models. So basically, like...
That's interesting.
Veteran Sergeant Cleon of the Imperial Fist or Ultramarines or whatever is just standing there, and then suddenly, like, a Wordbearer's fucking Vindicator comes up and drops a shell on him, and he just turns into paste.
And wipes out the entire squad.
Yeah, wipes out the whole squad. Or maybe it doesn't wipe out the whole squad, just kills the sergeant who's at the front directing.
As long as he's 1 inch away from enemy model.
Yep, well, you place the thing within 3 inches of where he dies. So you can place it 3 inches from the squad.
I like how you're thinking.
As long as the squad doesn't move, I guess, and just sort of totally surround that point. And you can place him on top of it.
I think that's the biggest weakness of this model. Because it has to come in via Deep Strike and just go, what up? And then if you've got...
Oh, hold on. Shit, it says any turn before Samus is deployed. So you basically, like, you could bring him in on turn... Say you don't roll for him. On turn 2, you roll for him and he doesn't come. You could have, like, 2 whole turns of fucking characters getting assassinated and have points all over the table. So then the enemy's freaking out, like, fuck, where is he going to come? Because, like, I've lost 2 sergeants, you've lost 3 sergeants, that's 5 points where he can come on turn 3.
I didn't even think of it like that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So, you imagine he's just... I don't know what that's meant to represent, like him exploding out of them.
I guess so.
Like, what's the science behind that? So, I'm standing there, I'm directing fire, then a Demolisher cannon hits me, I'm wearing my Artificer armor, but, oh shit, it's a Demolisher shell, so who gives a fuck? Blow into a fucking cloud of mist, and then Samus is on the other side of the veil going like,
come out.
Another fucking blood mist. I'm gonna come through that. Like, pulls his way out, and suddenly there's a fucking, like, 20-foot demon just, like, pulling himself out of the
and just standing
mist.
there for a turn because he can't do shit.
Yeah, so, that's the point. So he's at BS5. Does he have a shooting attack? No.
Doesn't look like it.
So... he basically comes out, stands there for a whole turn. So what are his defenses? He has the Demon of Khorne rule, which gives him a 5+ invulnerable.
Yeah. That is all.
He's toughness 7 with 6 wounds. So it's harder to just execute him with bolt guns. But this motherfucker doesn't have he doesn't have a turn of warrior.
So I could just run up with my Praetor and just cut his head off.
If you're playing if you're playing against another World Eater's army, someone could throw that trident at him and just fucking explode him into dust. Because it's strength 10, AP 1, instant death when you throw it.
That's true.
Fuck. So if you do that in a game, tell us, send us in a picture of the guy doing an 18-inch fucking trident throw into Samus. That'd be fucking epic. That's what I want to see.
Unless of course Demon of Khorne gives you a turn of warrior.
I don't think it does.
Sweet. I want to see that happen then.
So, so that's Born of Murder, and then he also has the Whispers of Madness. Do you want to read those?
Yeah, sure. I like this mechanic, actually. So if this guy is part of your army, all opposition reserve rolls are made -1, regardless of whether or not Samus is in play. So I guess that's the Ruin Storm interfering with whoever's coming
like
on.
the Storm Eagle pilot goes to radio the general, and it just like turns on the radio, and it's just like, "Gonna come for you!
Gonna eat you!
Samus is here to come for you!"
That's not useful as to where to drop these guys.
Kill frenzy, kill frenzy, kill frenzy!
So enemy models placed into ongoing reserve will fail to appear on any particular turn of a d6 roll of a 1. So I guess that means if you put in flyers go into oncoming reserve.
Yeah, like if a flyer flies off the table.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
you get lost on a 1.
That's all right.
That might fuck you if it's like turn 5 and you fly and you're just like, oh, I'll bring my flyer back on turn 6, and then it doesn't come back on turn 6, and then it counts as destroyed.
Yeah. So what is it on turn 2? You're rolling what? 5
3+.
So
-1, so 4+.
Yeah, 4+. So that's not so good. So if you're trying to bring reserves on. So the next thing, if Samus...
Well, it's every turn as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and fucking remember that mission we were playing on the weekend where your reserves only come on a 5+?
Yeah.
That would fucking suck. Jesus.
So the next one is, if Samus is part of your army, the warp charge cost of any blessing type psychic power used during the game by either side is increased by 1. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, because it change your warp charge. You know that spell, that biomancy spell that everyone was using on the weekend, where it gives you the 4+ feel no pain.
Oh yeah, that one.
That'll go up to warp charge 3.
Good.
So good luck fucking casting that bitch.
Good.
Yeah, if you dabble in warpcraft, you can just fucking die in a fire anyway, motherfuckers. As far as I'm concerned. But
models in combat with Samus, as well as all those taking fear chests in order to charge him, have their leadership value halved unless stubborn or fearless.
Yeah, so that's a big one.
That's pretty cool.
That is a pretty big one, because basic tac Marine squad, or most Marine squads, are going to be fucking testing on 4 or 5.
4 or 5, yeah.
If your sergeant's dead, 4. So yeah, that fucking sucks. Could be, it's decent rules. 375 points.
A lot of points.
So let's talk about tactics. First of all, let's talk about killing this bitch, because we're loyalists. So
yeah,
I have Volkite Culverins in my army.
That'll do it.
I don't give a fuck about this guy. Deep Black Rate and fucking Strength 6 and 4 shots each.
Yeah.
Preferred enemy. Everything is going to destroy that guy like a motherfucker.
Yeah, that'll wreck him down.
In terms of Marines can take Volkite Culverins.
You just want to hit this dude with D weapons, I guess. That's the obvious go-to.
Yeah, heavy bolters, you're only winning on 6, but with the amount of fire you can get from quad heavy bolters.
And if he's only got a 5+ invuln.
Las cannons are still winning him on 2s. He's only got a 5+ invuln. Like, your 8-man Las cannon squad would just fucking devastate him.
Yeah.
Good turn, you just kill him in one round.
Yeah. So that's his big weak. But I think that's his big weakness. When he comes in, he's got that turn to stand around with his hand on his dick going, who wants to fight me? And everyone's going to go, no, I'm not going to fight you, bro.
Yeah, if this guy comes on turn 2, like, and all of your shit is inside Spartans, you just light him up with las cannons too.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty...
Plasma gun teams, they'll just fucking end him.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful, but I think it's not as bad as everyone. Everyone's like, oh my god, no, there's unstoppable monsters in 30k now. I'm not that worried about it.
This guy is not unstoppable at all.
No.
Like, I'm just so not
he's dead hard. He's
dead hard if he gets into combat, but it's like
bulletproof.
It's like a bunch of the Primarchs, right? Like, fucking Angron will just murder anything he goes into. Like, on the weekend, I saw he carved through, like Castellax like they weren't there, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's fucking powerful as shit, but he's too powerful because he charges a squad, he murders fucking half the unit, the rest just fuck off.
And
or he murders the entire unit.
Now he's standing on his own.
He's standing there holding his dick again. So Samus is going to come down, stand there holding his dick. Turn 3, charge a unit, murder them. Oh shit, my unit's dead. Okay. And then he has to stand there holding his dick for a second round.
Yeah, in front of whatever you peppered with him the first time that didn't kill him.
Yeah, in front of the rest of your thing. So you can charge just send a tactical squad or whatever bullshit unit you have to just take a run at him and just fence him in, bubble wrap him, reverse bubble wrap him, and then he's just pinned there. He's got to fight a bunch of tits because he's not even jump pack infantry or anything. He's just a monstrous creature.
Yeah.
So he can't just leap over shit. He can't just run. He can't just jump over a unit and charge something else like a Bloodthirster could. I don't know.
It's not, and I think he's the be all and end all. He's good. I like it. It's especially fluffy for especially Book 5 when that comes for people wanting to play the whole Battle for Calth.
I think like if you're running this guy right and you've got Gal Vorbak, I would put those 375 points into putting those Gal Vorbak in a Spartan, which makes your army fucking twice as powerful.
Yeah, I would too. And I'd look at taking a Bloodthirster or something.
Alright, let's talk keeping Samus alive trying to do shit with him strats then. So
shit.
How would you run him?
God damn. Honestly,
You
probably wouldn't. Not for 375 points, but if I was forced to play with him, I would...
Forced to play with him?
Forced to play with him? Yeah, you'd just have to... Jeez, I don't even know where I'd start. Definitely deep strike him behind terrain if you can, and just wait. There's no way I'd just like go, hey boys, I'm in your deployment zone, what up? Turn 2, and just hope that he survived the shitstorm that he's going to cop.
Yeah, okay, so what you're going to want to do is take some 5-man recon squads.
Yeah.
So they come with a sergeant.
Yeah. Ritually murder the sergeant.
Yeah. Put them in the 4+ armor, so they just get fucked up more easily.
Yeah.
And they've got move through cover, so they can get closer to the enemy. So you can proc fucking Samus.
Yeah.
Don't give them Camellia line, because you don't want them to pass any saves. You want them to die. So you got your 2 5-man squads, so that gives you 2 chances to get into a good position.
Yeah.
Run them through cover, keep them in cover, keep them behind buildings and shit, but you want to expose them so that right on the flank of an enemy or something, where they've just got attack squads or some shit, that's like, oh, there's a recon squad, I've got nothing else to shoot at. Don't give the enemy anything to shoot at except those 2 recon squads, and only position them so that just a basic 20-man unit or some shit can see them. So they're like, oh, these guys have nothing else to shoot at. I'll shoot at that 5-man recon squad, wipe them out, but they're hiding behind like a haystack or like a building or a fucking, a china shop or whatever. So they die in a good position.
Yeah.
And then from turn 2 or 3, because they can infiltrate 2 recon squads, so you can infiltrate them into a really good spot.
Actually, I just thought of something that would help you make your idea even better.
Yeah.
Give them all sniper rifles, so in the meantime, they can try and precision shot the enemy sergeants.
Yeah. Okay, so... Yeah, sniper rifles, recon armor, infiltrate them into a position where you want Samus to come on so that he's exposed to the least enemy fire at all. Because he's got it, like, at the end of the day, he's just got to run, like, scamper around like a fucking...
like a giant rat dogman thing?
Like Goofy from... like Goofy from fucking... from the Disney franchise.
Yeah.
And then, just try and sniper shot as many enemy characters as possible, because you might kill one. In a good position too, like right in amongst the enemy lines. But the problem is, you kill somebody right in amongst the enemy lines, you can't fucking bring Samus on there either, because he's just going to get charged by a field, or someone will just send a squad to fuck with him.
Yeah.
Like Terminators are just going to charge this guy and just fuck his world up.
Yeah.
Power fist.
Yeah, well, not if he doesn't kill them all first, but I mean, if you got 10 of them, that's not going to happen.
Okay, so that's our strat. Is use a couple of infiltrating recon squads to just get into a good, decent
assassinating characters.
Start assassinating characters.
And have your own killed.
Yeah, get your own recon squad killed. Pick on, pick on enemy sergeants, that sort of thing. Any basic characters. If you're playing against a Mechanicum army where they have very few characters, or the ones that they do like, Myrmidon Lords, good fucking luck. But anyway, and then try and get those recon sergeants to die, so you can place your counter in a good position. That's all I can think of.
Same. Well, I think you can just deep strike him normally as well. It says you may put him within 1 inch of those things.
Yeah, but that's fucking risky as well.
That is risky, because if he scatters...
Deep strike a 375-point character. Oh,
God.
Now, here's a question. Can you use him to deep strike? Can you use a Nuncio Vox to deep strike him without error?
Ooh, that's a good question.
The thing is it's the same as before. Like, even if you use your Nuncio Vox to drop him in a good spot,
he's going to be standing there.
Fucking standing there holding his dick. At least he can run on the turn that he arrives, so...
I guess you could run him into cover.
Run him D6. He's not fleet, I don't think, so...
Doesn't look like it, unless it's part of that Demon of Cornwall.
No, definitely not.
Doesn't have it. Yeah, it's cool, it's fluffy. If I was playing Wordbearers, I wouldn't run it. But I do love the model. I'd definitely buy the model.
Yeah, so if you're going to take him as well, he would be a HQ as a demon detachment, I think. Okay, let's just quickly go through the rules for how you're meant to use him. So, Samus, Demon Prince of the Ruinstorm, can be chosen as a Lords of War choice for the following armies in Age of Darkness games: Wordbearers, Legion of Astartes, and Codex Chaos Demons. So you can take him as a Lord of War. We should have read that bit earlier.
Ooh.
But it's not going to change anything.
No, all it does is make it less attractive in taking, because for a Lord of War, as far as Lord of War goes, a pretty easy kill.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about all the Primarchs that could fucking kill him in close combat. All of them.
All of them. End story.
Yeah, like...
except for Tabo.
Yeah, probably except for Tabo. Even if he has his hammer, he's probably... even if he has his...
Nah, even for Tabo could do it. We're just joshing you for Tabo, you're right.
Yeah, Vulcan is just gonna fucking beat the shit out of him in like one turn, pretty much.
Yeah.
Horus will just fucking crush him. Like
Nighthorner will just put knives through his eyes.
Nighthorner will just fucking clown him. I mean, he does have 5 attacks. He has weapon skill 9, so he's hitting a lot of the Primarchs on 3s. He's going before a lot of the Primarchs, but almost every Primarch, I'm pretty sure every Primarch has more than 6.
Yeah, 5 wounds. Yeah, 6 so if he charges, yeah.
If he charges, there's a chance that he could get 6 wounds on a Primarch, and you could fuck all of your saves.
Yeah.
But then most Primarchs are just going to fucking open him up like a can of beans, right?
Yeah. So as a Lord of War goes, I don't think it's a good investment. It makes him less attractive.
Yeah, someone could math hammer that. There possibly are some Primarchs where the Primarch won't kill him in 1 round, and then he'll get 2 rounds, so he might be able to murder them. But you'd have to fail a bunch of saves.
Yeah, and then you've achieved the aim anyway. You've just tar pitted this dude down.
Yeah. That's a good way for a Primarch to die, is fighting a huge demon, but...
That's pretty epic.
Yeah, I don't know. Ferrous Manus would just end this guy like he was nothing. But he is like... what?
100 points cheaper than most.
25, 50 points cheaper than most Primarchs.
Yeah.
But most Primarchs have a 2+ armor save, and they're just going to laugh at Volkite Culverins.
Yeah, and Eternal Warrior, and just be like, whatever.
Sad. Is it sad? I don't know if it's sad.
I like it. All I know is I want to see more Samus cosplayers.
Yeah, so first of all, we want Samus cosplay. Second of all, from some angles, he looks like he's taking a shit. Third of all, you're going to have to be really careful as to how you run this guy.
Yeah.
That's the summary, basically, right?
Yeah. But if you're a Word Bearers player, get it. You must have this.
Maybe if you run him and a Bloodthirster, you can go target saturation.
Yeah, that starts to become a different story for me then. Yeah.
I mean, a Bloodthirster isn't that hard to kill either. Like, a Bloodthirster is easier to kill.
But what do you kill first?
Bloodthirster, probably.
Yeah.
He's got longer charge range.
Yep.
Being jump infantry and everything. Or jump monstrous creature. So, yeah, I don't know. There's our summary. That's it. That's it for Samus.
That's it for Samus. More Samus cosplay.
Go back to Metroid.
Yeah.
It's a different character, right?
I want to go play that again now. I haven't played Super Metroid on the SNES for years.
Future Samus, yeah. On the SNES. Whoa, that's crazy.
That's old school.
Nintendo 64!
No, not even on that.
So the only other thing I want to talk about is, did you see that there was a Games Workshop made some sort of poster with all the new Mechanicus shit on it?
I did. That? Yeah.
Did you see the Castellan robots?
Yeah, I did.
So people are saying that the Castellan class is what Castellax are. So Castellax are from the Castellan class. It says that they're one of the robots from that class.
Yeah.
But in the 30K book, they call it the Castellan class with a C. Whereas these are Castellan with a K robots.
Maybe that's the difference.
Well, I saw somebody...
10,000 years and a spelling change.
Yeah, well, someone on the forum said that these are meant to be Castellax 10,000 years later.
Ooh.
Using just... I guess they just said, the Mechanicum found a tissue box factory somewhere in the future and decided to make all their armor based around tissue box. Like, it's just fucking crazy. Yeah, maybe they found a Power Rangers video in the future.
Yeah,
based all their robots around that.
A lot of that stuff off that poster is quite nice. A lot of it I quite like and can't wait to see it. Those dudes on the tracks, I was like, yes, that's Skitarii for me. I know that's probably not what they are, but that's what I thought Skitarii would be more like.
I think in the olden days they used to call them Praetorians.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. That's what's got me excited, even though they're not that's exactly what I imagined them to be like.
They could be cool as Myrmidon Destructors.
They could, yeah.
I'm assuming you could fit... They're probably on a 50mm base, actually, now I think about it, but they could be cool as a conversion to make Myrmidons out of. Put Volkite Culverins or irradiation engines on them. Run them as, like, just different-looking Myrmidons.
Yeah, but those Castellans made me a bit sad, Panda.
Yeah, they're not that great. Like, and Electro Priest, I was expecting so much more from Electro Priest, but...
They're cool models, but yeah, I know they're not. That's the thing that you've been looking forward to most
for years.
For the last 20 years. You've always wanted Electro Priests.
Yeah, the ironic thing is, I was thinking, they're going to fuck them up. They're going to put all this, like... You know how they put that energy shit, that sculpted on energy stuff? Where it's like, yeah, look, here's a lightning bolt. It's, like, solid. You can paint it. to look like lightning.
Yeah.
Everyone always fucks
I don't
up.
like that.
They didn't do that, but then the models aren't really super great anyway. Like, maybe they've got some better heads or something, but the heads with blindfolds and shit on are just so super fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Another interesting thing I did note on that poster as well is the bit of a change in the painting style. Did you notice that some of those castellans were weathered? Looks like they had sponging and stuff on them.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before from Games Workshop main studio.
Oh, that's crazy. Maybe they got someone in Forge World to do them.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Or maybe the whole thing's like an elaborate hoax. Someone's just photoshopped
it's
those
an April Fool's for next year.
Yeah, I don't know. So, it's crazy because Forge World was saying that there's no robots in the future, basically, at a weekender, I thought.
Well,
but then it turns out that
it is science fiction, so you can magically find an STC that has the instructions.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you what I think of the Castellans. I think they're goofy ass piles of shit. Look at it, look at just the tank on the. So it's got a flamer, right? So it's super uninspired rules as well. It's got a flamer built onto its shoulder, and it's a torrent flamer, so strength 5 AP 5 torrent flamer. Whoop-de-doo. And then on the flamer itself, did you see that just bullshit little fuel tank thing?
Yeah.
That's one of the most uninspired sculpts I've ever fucking seen. It just looks fucking horrible. Forge World stuff is so much better. They have the resin tubes that you heat up, and the tubes look fucking awesome. All the pipes and cables and stuff that Forge World do, the mechadendrite tendrils and all that sort of shit, is all fucking shit hard. But then when it comes to doing that stuff in plastic, somehow they just completely fucking screw the pooch and just make these models that look... Those Castellan things look like someone... they just dug up some model from the 80s, some bullshit action figure.
Whoa.
It's actually... Yeah, you know what I'm saying there.
I know, and I know exactly what you're saying. I agree too. I'm not a fan of it at all.
Although... One interesting thing that I did see in a forum was somebody saying that... remember those rumors that there was going to be plastic contemptors?
Yeah.
One of the things someone was saying is maybe that's what some fucking spy person saw. They saw mock-ups for those, and they said... Because the legs
look like... Yeah.
So maybe they saw those in an early initial stage, and they were like, "Oh yeah, plastic contemptors, man. Yeah,
it's legit.
I intimately know the design process at Games Workshop HQ. Yeah, they have me around for coffee all the time just so I can give my awesome opinion on shit."
Speaking in my professional opinion as a warehouse storeman who saw something from 100 meters away.
Yeah, some guy who just delivers fucking cheesecakes to them, for their birthdays or some bullshit. Oh yeah, I totally saw a fucking contemptor down there, man.
It's coming.
Yeah. So, I know, that's just an interesting tidbit. Thought I'd throw in.
You're quite upset about that, I can tell.
Yeah. But, yeah, fuck those things. They're so ugly as fuck.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
All I hope is that doesn't stop Forge World from bringing out some new fucking robots, because I really want some, a Colossus, or something just bigger than a Castellax, but smaller than a Thanatar.
Yeah.
That's close combat based. Because the Castellax are good, they're a bit more well-rounded, they've got the weapons, so you're not always going to just throw them into combat. But something like with a Thunderhammer and a shield or some shit like that.
That's nasty. That on a robot.
Straight up assault robot. And the other thing I'd like would be something like a Castellax, maybe even smaller, but with a conversion beamer built onto it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, that's it for news.
We need something.
Rumors? Are there any rumors?
No, I got none. I think that's about it. We'll just wait to see what comes out of the new Warhammer World opening.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
It's coming up.
All
right. Let's cut to some Dead Kennedys.
Yeah, something to calm you down a bit.
I'm going to go have another Jaeger bomb, get more psyched up, and we'll come back with Andrew.
Yeah, talk about Inferno.
Andrew Hollis, talk about Inferno. Welcome back to the Eye of Horus podcast. We've got Andrew on the line, coming to us from the ACT.
How's it going, Andrew?
Good. Yourselves?
Yeah, after yesterday, excellent.
Yeah, we're in high moods. We played Sandstorm by Darude to lead into the show.
Oh, excellent. Looking forward to that then.
Yeah, that was our
victory song.
Yeah, that was our suck up music all week. We were
Darude is synonymous with victory.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is, Andrew obviously was at Inferno as well. We're going to go around, we'll go for each round and just talk about our games just quickly, and then we'll talk about the overall meta and the results and everything at the end. So we just quickly we'll go through our list. So do you have your list handy, Michael?
Yes, I do. It's right here. So basically, the list I took last week, I sort of went home, dwelled on it a bit. I was going to use the same list for both battles.
We should say that we talked about our list last week for ages, and then we ended up having to change. Well, I had to change mine due to weather events.
Yeah.
And Michael, you changed yours
because I had a bit of a think about it. Actually, got a bunker model.
There's some good.
So you say weather events, but I suppose a lot of the listeners aren't really in Australia. And when you say weather event, I flew up to freaking 9-foot flooding conditions.
You would have been flying through that shit.
It was crazy.
So
it was well worth it, but holy shit, guys.
Was the airport flooded or?
Well, the place I was staying at, there was water everywhere. I didn't think we were going to make it the next day, but it went away pretty quick. But Jesus, fly halfway across the country to land in a pool.
Yeah, it was crazy. We mentioned it just at the start of the show, but yeah, that's the most rain I've seen. I think even when Brisbane had that big flood a few years ago.
Yeah, this is worse.
And it inundated like 20,000 houses or something. I think this is more rain than that even. It's crazy.
Yeah, because it just came down so quick.
Yeah, you were staying with Adam Wiseman, were you?
Yeah.
At the Wiseman Castle Wiseman.
That's it.
Yeah, excellent. He's a good guy.
They're on the hill and safe. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's good.
Have you guys drown?
You could have just grabbed onto all of Wiseman's resin if it flooded.
Float away.
Use all his terrain as a lifeboat.
Soon my Talos tables float, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, let's go through your list, Michael.
Right,
quickly.
So basically I had an attacker and defender list. My defender list was my Praetor, who I paid an extra 20 points for all the upgrades from Inferno 1.
Yep.
So he's pretty king shit. He's basically, if you look in Book 4, page 222 or 220, with the upgrades for your characters, he's basically upgraded stat-wise and had a few awesome upgrades like Headsman, which gives Killing Blow for 1 round of close combat once per game.
On all attacks?
Yeah, on all attacks. So that's pretty fucking epic. A Legion Primus Medicae, a Apothecarian detachment of 1 Apothecary, 14 Breaches, and a Sergeant, which were tooled up to the max. So 2 Grav Guns, a Melter Gun, a Vexilla, all with Melter Bombs, and a secondary Breacher squad, which was just 14 dudes and a Sergeant with pretty much nothing. And they were just my rear in the rear with the gear guys. And for my heavy support, I had a Spartan, pretty much flare shield, armored ceramite, and 8 heavy support marines with las cannons.
Right.
And they sat in my bunker.
So that was your defensive list?
Yeah, with a Vindicator.
But they were both just Age of Darkness lists, right?
No, this one is the garrison list.
Because
you had to take 1 fortification to make that list. So
okay.
I took that.
You can take 1 in just the normal Age of Darkness list.
Yeah, but it was in the theme of the day.
Yeah, alright, good point.
And my attacker list was basically the same. I won't go through it again, except I dropped the bunker, dropped 3 of the heavy marines, so I had 5 las cannons, and took a Contemptor Dreadnought instead.
Oh, okay.
And that was my attacker and defender list.
Yeah, right. And that's Imperial Fist, and
Imperial Fist, Stone Gauntlet.
Right. Andrew, what was your list? Did you end up being attacker most of the time?
Yeah, all 3 games.
Yep.
So I was pretty happy with that. So I made 2 different lists. The defender list I made first, and then I actually discovered the Raider Force Org chart in Book 4. And I'm like, I'm going to do my attacker list based on that.
So that only requires 2 elites, right?
Yeah, that's right. HQ. Compulsory HQ to elites, no compulsory troops whatsoever, and elites are all scoring.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's brutal.
But on top of that, you then get a bonus of, you can either get D3 plus 2 outflanking infiltrating units, or you can steal the initiative on a 4+, or you can re-roll all. You can automatically get night fighting. So one of those 3 at the start of each game.
Shit. So did you infiltrate your dreadnoughts?
Yeah, so I was going infiltrating. So the list I took with that was a Centurion Forge Lord in Cataphracti armor with teleportation array, cyber familiar, rag grenades, cortex controller, a solarite gauntlet, and a graviton gun. I couldn't fit much more on him, I don't think. So. And then in the elite slot, I had a 2-man Talon of Contemptor Dreadnoughts with plasma cannons and their close combat weapons with graviton guns in them. A Mortis Contemptor with twin Kyrie's assault cannons. Another 2-man, this time Dreadnought Contemptor Talon with double Dreadnought close combat weapons and graviton guns in both fists, so 4 in the entire Talon. Yeah, a graviton rapier battery, another graviton rapier battery, and a quad rapier battery.
Quad heavy bolters?
Yeah, no, quad thud gun.
Oh, right. Okay.
Quad mortar. So that was all in my elite. So obviously the Talons can then split up. So that was 8 scoring units.
Holy shit, yeah.
With 5 of them being dreadnoughts.
There
were no troops. I then go on to fast attack. There were 3 independent attack bikes with melter bombs and multi-melters, and a tarantula battery with forward deployment twin-link las cannon. And then to top it off, with the Cortex controller, I brought in 9 Thalax with melter bombs and 3 photon thrusters.
Oh, holy shit. Yeah, no wonder you wanted to fucking attack every time.
Yeah, it was brilliantly fun. It was the first time I played Thalax as well, so I was really, really keen. And my defender list didn't have the Thalax. So.
Yeah, how did you find that big unit of 9? Like, I really like them, but sometimes they're a bit hard to maneuver.
I love it. Deep striking. I would suspect deep striking they might be a little bit difficult, so it's so easy to kind of stuff it up on the way in.
Yeah.
But I was really lucky with some of my deployments and that. But once they're on the ground, with that assault move, they're just bouncing around everywhere.
Yeah.
And unless they get hit with a Typhon and they're bunched up, thanks, John. They're pretty good. They're with so many wounds and the reasonable toughness. There's not much insta killing, so they just stay around for ages.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think I've mentioned it a couple of times, but the thing that wasted them the most when I've played with a big unit of 9 was actually against you when you had a heavy bolter support team. I think it was like 8 heavy bolters or 6 heavy bolters or something, because you were running Imperial Fists and they're BS5 with bolt weapons. I think you reaped like 4 of them straight up or something like that.
Them,
yeah, it was crazy. But then I just blew them out of the ground and just into dust with photon thrusters. But yeah, the photon thrusters combined with that the Thalax sight where they reduce the cover save by 2.
Yep.
It's just so good because almost everything
getting a 5+ cover.
Almost everything's 5+ cover. So dudes in ruins are just totally fucked, and the 48-inch range means you can just waste them from the other side of the table and people have no recourse.
That's hard.
Yeah, and AP2, heavy 2, but as long as you've got other heavy anti-armor support, and which I did in the Haywire side of things, you're not the Lance is fine, but if you're up against Spartans or something like that, strength 6 Lance, you're still looking for 6s to glance them.
Yeah.
But if you've got other weaponry that you can rely on, then those photon thrusters just tear things apart.
Yeah, I found because you can give the squad one of those give them Tank Hunter as an upgrade. That's pretty decent, especially if you've got 6 shots and then you're fishing for 6s.
Yeah, that's right. Normally you can, if you're just taking them as a normal support, but when you bring them in with the Cortex controller, you're not allowed to give them any upgrades.
Ah, that's interesting. So when
any of those special upgrades, like they give them the teleport and that sort of stuff.
Ah, interesting. Okay, I didn't realize that.
So they're a little less effective a little less focused.
Yeah.
But most of the time they're a support unit anyway. The rest of your list is being the focus, and I had enough Melter and Haywire that I could take out most AV-14s with it.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, I'll go through my list. So I, like last time, I went through the 2 lists that I had. My attacker list, I didn't end up using at all. that list didn't
So you played
change.
3 games defending.
Yeah, so I spent
You
3
got to
games
use all your
defending.
new stuff.
Yeah, so just quickly, so Nate, who we had on episode 4, I think, he was meant to be the general, so it was meant to be Iron Hand's leadership of this whole endeavor, but he got flooded out or something happened in his house because of the weather. I think we had 2 people drop out in the end, but Nate couldn't make it. And so I turned up, and basically everyone was like, "Oh, Nate's not here. I guess
you're the general.
You're gonna be general again." So I was like, "Oh shit, okay." So luckily last time I managed to just fluke all the right draws somehow, and just sort of choose the right ones. This time I ended up being the general.
You knew what you were doing this time.
Yeah, well, maybe, I don't know. Let's not say I knew what I was doing, but so I ended up defending most of the time because I'd sort of keep myself in reserve till last. So some of those horrible matchups, you don't want to just throw somebody to the wolves.
Yeah.
So I ended up using my garrison list for all of them. I didn't end up being able to paint my void shield generator in the end, so I took that out and I changed my list slightly. So I had my Archmagus, Myrmidax, Apollodorus, 4 Myrmidon Destructors with 3 Volkite Culverins and an Irradiation Engine, 4 Myrmidon Destructors with 3 Conversion Beamers and an Irradiation Engine, Mechanicum Land Raider with the Hull Multi-Melter, Flamestorm Cannons, Flare Shield, Auxiliary Drive, Armored Ceramite.
Yeah.
So basically the Archmagos and the Myrmidons with the Culverins, they basically just rode in that Land Raider, and most of the time they started on the table or they started in reserve. I had a Krios Venator, 2 lots of 15 Tech Thralls with Fearless and Carapace Armor. Oh, shit, they had induction charges. I never fired them twice.
Oh, no. It's a bit late now.
Man, that's like 15 BS2 bullshit shots that I missed out on.
Recount.
Yeah. I had a Tarantula Battery with 3 Twin-Link Las Cannons, a Bastion with a Void Shield, Icarus Las Cannon, Escape Hatch, and that had the Conversion Beamer Myrmidons in it. That basically, I just put that in a corner in every game. Tried to get 42 and above inch shots on shit. An Aegis line and 2 Vengeance Weapon Batteries, both with battle cannons. So, slightly different list. If I'd had my Void Shield generator, it could have been, I think it might have been
different again.
Yeah, a lot more one-sided because it was really hard to strip the Void Shields that I had. Anyway, so let's go through our games. Who wants to go first?
All right, I'll go first.
So who did you play?
So first game was against Iron Warriors.
Yep.
So the mission, everyone plays the same mission. So the mission was rolled up as Diversionary Strike, and the deployment we rolled up was Combat Drop. So they were both missions and deployments from Book 4. So basically, just to run through this for the first round for everyone, Combat Drop is a 12-inch circle. You can place 3 12-inch circles anywhere on the board. That's your deployment zone, and the defender's deployment zone is the rest of the table. So that's pretty crazy. As the attacker, you generally get the first turn. However, in this scenario, I had the initiative stolen on me. So I'd set up in these spots with the enemy army, 4 of their units all around me, and I think the 4 units were Sikaran, a Venator, a Vindicator, a squad of Tyrant Siege Terminators, and a squad of normal Terminators. And I was like, this is going to hurt. So basically, I wore the hurt, got absolutely pizzled. The Iron Warriors got first blood because they took out my Vindicator, which, I'll put it out there now, never fired a shot the entire tournament.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And from there, things went poorly until about turn 4, when my Spartan, which was down to, I think, 2 hull points, assaulted onto the objective that the enemy was holding with his Warlord and one of his Terminator squads, come through, decapitated the Warlord, took the objective, ended up winning me the game on the last turn. And that was amazing. I just wore it so badly for the entire game.
So did you use your headspin ability to just get all killing blows? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, actually, I didn't actually get to kill him because what happened is he denied the challenge against my Lord.
Oh, what? So
my Lord just fought into the unit, but by the end of it with combat moves, the last people to move was my Veteran Sergeant with a Power Fist and Primus Medicae with a Thunderhammer, and he was the last guy left. So on their initiative step, both of them moved on to the General and just proceeded to kick him to death. So awesome. That was my round 1.
I imagine the dude with the Power Fist held him by the throat. And then the guy with the thunder hammer just like did his croquet style fucking just smashed his head off into this guy.
It was pretty cinematic. I was getting absolutely annihilated for every turn, apart from that one last valiant charge where the Imperial Fist pulled it out of their asses.
Yeah, nice one. So that was a victory to you.
Yep,
Awesome.
It was 1 point to him for first blood, and for me, slay the Warlord for 1 and the objective for 1.
Yeah. How did your game go, Andrew?
For my first one, I had Pete. So I think he played in the first Inferno, but I don't think he managed to get a game of 30k since.
Oh, was he the guy using the Mechanicum?
Yeah.
I played him in the last round, the first one, and just fucking couldn't do anything. My entire army fight at 1 unit of Castellax for basically the whole 5 turns and didn't kill anything. Fuck,
well, he was using Mechanicum again with a Knight.
Knight Errant, I think.
Units of 3 Castellax, 4 Thalax, a Land Raider, some 20-man Thralls, I think. So he was defender, I was attacker, and we got the Spearhead Assault, which is like the triangle formation. But I was lucky enough to actually get the objective in my deployment zone, so I sat on that straight away. But I got first turn, and then basically with the amount of grav shots that I was shooting out, his Land Raider went pop within 5 minutes. I wiped out a few of the Thralls, and a heap of his Castellax. Hilariously, I couldn't actually hurt them with Kiris or any other shots, but they were hurting themselves when they were trying to move through the dangerous terrain. So they were taking continuous wounds moving through dangerous terrain, which was just hilarious. The second turn, however, started spinning round because his Land Raider that I destroyed came back on and rescued the Magos that had been shunted out. The Knight came on and 2 Lightnings came on with each one had 2 Sun Furies and 4 Kraken missiles.
Ooh,
so the first my Contemptor, my Mortis Contemptor had been immobilized at that stage, so they came on the side, so I couldn't intercept them. And basically at that point I just started losing Dreadnoughts, dropping like flies. Luckily my Thalax came in and then tied up the Knight and kind of held their advance off long enough for, because it was his first game in a long time, we were taking things pretty slow and we were talking through the rules and kind of discussing tactics and that sort of stuff, and just making sure that he wasn't going to go suicidal with units for no particular reason, and just having a good time and that sort of stuff. And we had to finish the game early, but at that point I'd held the objective for 3 or 4 turns and had done a few other got Line Breaker and a few other things.
Yep.
So I took that game, but we both enjoyed it. Hopefully, he said he enjoyed it. So
well, that's the main thing.
Yeah, no, he's a good dude. All right, my first game I played against the enemy general, who was Danny.
Ooh,
who had a great weekend, had a great day.
He did. Had 3 wins.
Yeah, that's true. He did get 3 wins. His entire team crumbled around him, but Danny led the way. So in my first game, that's a bit of a spoiler. Danny fucking crushed me. If you go to Corublo, corublo.imgur.com, I've got a gallery up there of all of my games as usual. So I was running my garrison list. You can see the pictures. Basically, every deployment is the same on the right hand, because we rolled up the the V-shaped deployment, where
spearhead.
defender is in the corners, and then the attacker is in the middle triangle. So yeah, basically every single deployment I was on the right hand side with my whole army in a corner, just all turtled up like a dwarf army from fantasy. It was awesome. So I found the hardest thing in Danny's army was the fact that he had he had a Spartan with Ceramite and a Flare Shield, and then also a Land Raider Proteus as well. Oh, sorry, Phobos. And I just didn't have enough shit to deal with them. Because he deployed close enough that my conversion beamers were just my conversion beamers were too close.
Yeah,
I should have, if I'd
got max effect out of them.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, I made the mistake. I didn't put my bastion all the way in the corner. You can see that there's like those ruins sort of in towards the corner. So if I put my bastion right in the corner, I might not have had line of sight. So I put it sort of to one side, about 18 inches in from the side, and yeah, that pretty much fucked me. The other thing that fucked me was that so the objective was there, and I thought you just had to hold the objective at the end of the game. I didn't read it right or something because I spent so much time strategizing for that round. So I didn't put anyone who could actually cap it near the objectives, so I wasn't reaping any points from the start. So Danny just smashed forward with his Land Raiders. The one sort of piece of good luck that I had was my Land Raider came on from reserve, uses Machine Spirit to go 12 inches, and then shot a multi-melter shot into a Sikaran, which didn't have Ceramite, and just got a fucking explodes result in the first shot. So just one shot at that and blew it apart. But yeah, his tanks just basically stomped forward, deployed Terminators and shit, and then he deployed this ridiculous beard-ass combo that he had. So he had 2 Psychers, both with Biomancy.
Yeah.
And what he was aiming for was the I can't remember what the power is called, but it's the one that drains your toughness. Is it Enfeeble or something like that?
Yeah.
Feeble. And then he had the one of those Space Wizards had the relic, the Death Guard relic, which is like a rad effect. Every unit within 6 inches drops their toughness.
Ooh.
And then he was using the Reaping Rite of War. So all of his characters had rad grenades as well. So he drove it to my Thralls, hit them with a -1 toughness debuff, got within 6 inches, then they dropped from toughness 3 down to toughness 2 because of the spell, and then from toughness 2 down to 1 because of the relic.
Yeah.
And then apparently, if any of your stats drop to 0, you're just immediately removed. So he did an assault, got into base to base. As soon as he was in combat, the rad grenades procced, and he didn't even have to do attacks. They basically just immediately withered and died. Yeah. So that's fucking brutal as shit. So I think he was aiming for his perfect outcome for that would be against toughness 4 Marines, and he'd have 2 lots of that Enfeeble power, double that up, drop you to toughness 2, use the relic to drop you to toughness 1, and then assault you and drop you to toughness 0, and then your unit just dies. Even if they're like Tyrant Siege Terminators or fucking Red Butchers or some shit, they just auto-die.
Ouch.
So, yeah, nice work, Danny. It worked out, but he only
managed the game.
Yeah, he only managed to do that to Thralls, but one of my units of Thralls were in reserve, so they didn't come until later. And by the time, the game ended, he basically capped the point. I lost the game, unfortunately. I think he got first blood as well, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I tried to assassinate his veteran Marines, my Volkite Culverin guys, from behind, but he had a guy with Artificer armor who just tanked 13 wounds or something like that. He just passed 13 2+s in a row.
Yeah.
Just saved all of those shots. So, yeah, just one of those games where it doesn't go very well, but we won the round.
That's what matters in the end.
That's what matters in the end. So, yeah. Good work, Danny. Fucking totally trashed me.
Yeah. He did that to a lot of people during the day.
Yeah.
A lot of people haven't seen that list before.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's crazy, that combo. Because, I mean, you've got that big squad. He had that big squad of 10 Terminators, and with Power Fists and shit like that. So you could charge Castellax, drop them from toughness 7 to toughness 4, using that same combo, and then you instant killing them with Power Fists.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it doesn't work for instant death threshold, does it?
No. It doesn't drop the instant death threshold.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Okay, well.
Would still be.
Yeah, still better. You're still wounding on 2s with Power Axes and shit. Or
with Power Fists,
yeah. So it's a pretty brutal combo. But yeah, the biggest thing was I just couldn't pop his Land Raiders. I just didn't have enough shit in my list that could kill AV-14, especially Flare Shielded. My Sikaran Venator just did some paltry shooting and took some hull points up here and there, but I just couldn't punch through that fucking Spartan. So I definitely need to figure out some more Haywire or something into that list.
Haywire's awesome, 30k.
Yeah. Okay, on to round 2. How'd you go, Michael?
Round 2, yep. I played Scott's Mechanicum, who ended up getting best painted. I think we've got some pictures of that.
Yep.
Once again, the second mission we played was Scorched Earth, and we rolled up 5 objectives. And once again, I rolled up Combat Drop, deployed all my shit. This time I thought, I can't afford to have the initiative stolen on me again. So I was a bit more conservative, put myself in a position where all my stuff was there protecting their flanks and looking after each other in the corner. But I had a good line of sight onto 3 of the objectives. And then at the start of the game, Scott stole the initiative on me again. So I was like, can this day get any worse? So from there, I just went out. My main objective was to kill as many of the objectives as I could straight away. So I took a round of firing from him, lost my Vindicator straight up, as per usual. After that, I think I ended up getting 2 objectives the first turn. I think my las cannons actually shot one. My Dreadnought actually tore one down. And from there, my Spartan assaulted forward into a big unit of Myrmidons, threw blind grenades at them. They had to reroll their successful save. I think they're initiative 2, so blinded them. The Praetor cut through them with headsmen. This was like, shh, get out of here. And then after that, we're assaulted by 2 Castellax, and they just got rid of them as well with melter bombs. And pretty much after taking out 3 objectives, I just played conservatively and just tried to hide my stuff to take as few casualties as I could for the attrition rule at the end of that, or last man standing, I think it was, to see who could destroy the most units. Whoever's had the most units left at the end got an extra VP.
Yeah, right.
So I ended up getting away with that. I think I got 3 objectives, got that, didn't get first blood, got couple of 1 or 2 other things, but it was a pretty good win. It was a good game.
Yeah, Scott's a cool dude.
Yeah, I think that scenario heavily favors the attacker because, I mean, killing some of those objectives is pretty easy, and each one's worth 3 victory points each. So,
yeah,
game 2.
That was a crazy mission. How did you go, Andrew?
Yeah, it was an excellent game for me. I played John McTavish with his Sons of Horus.
Oh, right, it's Typhon and Spartan full of arseholes.
That's right, Spartan, Typhon, 2 Rhinos. I think that's about it. There might have been a few other things. Maybe? Yeah, Sakara and a Venator, that's right. We rolled up combat drop as well. But by this stage, my Forge Lord had gained an advancement which allowed him to re-roll any steal the initiative. So I gave him first, let him deploy first, which determined he scattered his stuff around, and then it restricted where I could do my actual combat drop zones. But what I was hoping on was that I would be able to get a 4+, on either the first roll or the second roll, which didn't actually happen. So I had a lot of Dreadnoughts out in the open, and a few other things basically in line of Typhons and that sort of stuff. The only thing I held in reserve was my Thalax and the Forge Lord. So first round of firing, he basically stun-locked every one of my Dreadnoughts. So he didn't actually kill anyone, but he either immobilized and then stunned, so they were snap firing, and of course, because they've got grav guns, couldn't actually fire or anything like that.
How dare you, John McTavish?
I know, it was just cruel. But there was a side benefit to that was I don't think John read the rules properly, and our objectives that we had to destroy were phosphate reserves. So when they exploded with a large blast, strength 5, AP 2, ordnance 1, poison 3, lingering death.
Oh, yeah.
And he unloaded his Spartan, and his primary mob kind of charged straight on top of one of the objectives.
Ouch.
And he kind of looked at me quizzically when I started opening up with my Kyries at the objective rather than the squad. And then kind of, it
Nice
dawned on him
move.
when it exploded, and kind of half of his squad started burning alive.
Yeah,
Nice
and then
move.
you get to move that as well, right? 2 inches or something, or D6 inches, and place it 2
The
inches.
defending player gets to move. That's the amusing part. So the defending player can move it as long as it covers more models, friendly or enemy. So of course the friendly player is not going to move it if it's going to cover even more of his own models.
Yeah.
So he just kind of took the casualties and then didn't move them. But then by that time, same as last games, I had a fair few haywires flying around. I had my attack bikes continually fluff Melter against the Typhons. It was just chasing a Typhon round for 3 rounds. But on the other side of the board, I had eliminated his Sakara and his Venator and a Rhino and another squad pretty quickly. But through the entire game, it was really, really seesaw, and it literally came down to I had destroyed 3 objectives. He was holding 2 objectives, so that put me on 9 and him on 6. And then he had a few secondaries, and in the last turn, I fluffed a 5-inch charge with my Centurion and his Thalax to destroy the last objective. He turned his Typhon round, wiped out the rest of the Thalax, but my Forge Lord kind of made 7 invulnerable saves, and then his last melter gun melted his face and gave him Warlord, Slay the Warlord, and it was a draw.
Jesus.
It was an epic game. It was, it looked at the start, it looked as though it was his. Then middle, it looked as though it was mine, and then at the end, we were both trying to do the math of what the hell do we need to do. And I did a Hail Mary, and I thought, oh, surely I'm going to get a 5-inch charge off. Yeah, nah. So,
those close games are always the best games.
Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic that it ended in a dead draw, because that was the best result, I reckon. We were both really, really happy with the game.
Yeah. You get the moral victory, though, because John McTavish needs to paint his fucking shit.
Whoa, you called him out.
Yeah, I'm calling him out. John, paint your stuff, John.
Yeah, unfortunately, he got the strategic victory there because I was the attacker, so the defender only has to win or draw, so I kind of bounced off the... Yeah.
Damn. All right, I played against a Word Bearers force.
Oh, yes, Word Bearers. It's good to see them making a comeback.
So
good appearance.
It was a pretty insane army. It had, I think it was 8 Galvorback with Erebus and a Dark Apostle. I think that's what their chaplains are called, right? They're in that big, just like fuckhammer unit. There was 2 assault squads in Mark IV with, they all had melter bombs. There was another. What else did he have? Oh, Storm Eagle. Oh, sorry, not Storm Eagle. A Fire Raptor gunship, and then an allied detachment, which was a Bloodthirster, and
nice.
10 Bloodletters.
Letters.
So yeah, basically, it was one of those games where I set up my shit, and he ran everything at me, and I just shot like over several rounds. I just blew all of his shit off the table. We had 3 Phosphex, what are they called? Phosphex bunkers in our game. So 2 of them were on his side, and he was just like, I can't hurt those with shooting. I'm just going to have to send assault squads to deal with them. So he sent these jump pack assault marines with melter bombs and just leapt on them, planted melter bombs on. So one squad I hit with with conversion beamers from right across the table, and shot them down to 5. So those 5 guys assaulted, planted the melter bombs in the Phosphex bunker. It blew up and killed all but the sergeant. He managed to survive, and he just hid behind a hedge for the rest of the game. The other one, he sent 10 Marines. They planted he hit automatically against stationary shit. We were just like, don't bother rolling, man. Like, it's definitely going to explode. So then that exploded, and I think it killed 7 out of the 10 assault Marines.
Ouch.
So they paid the fucking price, but they're word bearers, man. They're fanatics. So that just ripped half of his shit apart. And then the Gal Vorback came for me. I just shot them. They didn't... I think that I sent thralls out to try and slow them down. And they spent like a turn just sort of milling around and not pulling the trigger. And the Bloodthirster came forward, and the Bloodletters came forward. I think he slowed them down for a turn so he could try and assault with the Bloodletters, the Bloodthirster, and the Gal Vorback, like fuck train all at once. But I managed to just blow the Bloodthirster away with the Krios Venator, and then I dropped battle cannon shots on the demons, dropped battle cannon shots all over the Val Gorback. He rolled up that Biomancy power where he had the 4+, Feel No Pain, and that just really stopped my damage like in its tracks, basically. It's just rolling so many 4+. Because they're toughness 5, they've got 2 wounds. I think that gives them Eternal Warrior. I think it gives them Relentless, Eternal Warrior, and Feel No Pain 4+ or some shit like that. Like, it's just totally crazy. So yeah, I couldn't even smash them even with conversion beamers and shit. I'm towards the end of the game. I tried to do an assassin run on Erebus and shoot him with my just because my Myrmidax does precision shots on a 5+. I was hoping to just get a 5+ to hit with a melter gun and just precision shot him in the face and just murder him, but didn't manage to get the precision shot. Shot them with Volkite Culverins, dropped a fucking radiation engine across them.
Still nothing.
Yeah, right at the end of the game, because I did that diversionary attack, managed to keep him in the center of the table, and he didn't manage to get to my general, and his Scout Vorback were just out of charge range. I think he rolled didn't roll. No, he rolled poorly. And I think after the game we found out that they had fleet.
Oh,
Like
no.
he didn't. Yeah, so unfortunately it was too late for that then. So yeah, I ended up winning that game by like 1 victory point or something like that.
Close.
But yeah, you did a bit of the Storm Eagle came on. Sorry, the Storm Eagle, fucking Fire Raptor came on and shot a whole bunch of stuff up. But I don't know. I'm not sure if I rate that Fire Raptor. He had.
I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, so
I prefer a Storm Eagle.
Yeah,
what were the turret weapons on it?
What's that? Sorry.
What were the turret weapons on it?
He had the Reaper autocannon battery. So I think that's 4 shots, right? Twin linked. Strength 7 AP4. Yeah, but because I had a Mechanicum Land Raider, couldn't do shit to that.
Yeah, true.
The miniguns at the front, which are Strength 6 AP3, twin linked. I think Heavy 7 or something like that. Yeah. Just couldn't do anything to my Venator because it's AV13 flare shielded, and all my buildings were AV14. Yeah. So the autocannons just did some.
Because if
you
had a Storm Eagle, all those las cannons and melter guns, that way more effective.
Well, you can't get so much shielding on buildings, so multi-melters and shit like that are the perfect thing for fucking up fortifications. But yeah, just didn't have enough firepower, unfortunately. Against like a Marine army, it's probably good, but it's kind of annoying because that gun, it's only heavy 7, right? Strength 6 AP3. That new minigun arm on the new Knight variant, the Castellan or whatever, is heavy 12, strength 6, AP3, heavy 12.
Jesus.
So that's fucking insane. It just shits all over that thing. I think that those miniguns like that one and the one on the Castigator, they should just give them rending.
Yeah, they just need something to make them that tiny bit better.
Yeah.
At least, yeah.
But, yeah, Bloodthirster, I had no problems with that. That's why I'm so blasé about fucking Samus. Like, Bloodthirster was shit, man. Like, just ripped it apart with las cannons. And
what did it have? Just a 5+ feel no pain?
Yeah, just 5+. I don't think it even has feel no pain.
Ward.
Yeah, just 5+ ward. It's pretty fast. If it goes into flying mode, it'd be a bit better, I guess. But he had it just sort of running on foot.
Yeah.
So he could do like the fleet charge, I think. Maybe he was expecting me to move forward and then he could assault me that turn or something like that. But yeah, I didn't even have to use my Volkite Culverins to gun it down. I had them ready to go, but didn't even need it in the end because it was just it wasn't very tough. But yeah. Not a bad game. It was hilarious seeing all these guys just die to fucking Phosphex on their own.
Fanatics, as you said.
Yeah,
it's pretty themey.
Yeah, it was themey. So at the end of that round, we were winning like
a lot.
Fucking 5
Loyalists were up.
Yeah, I took a picture of the strategic map. So by that time, we were winning 1, 2, 3. So we were winning 7-3. So if you guys go, we'll put a link to this gallery in the show notes. If you go to the, it's like a strategic map using those hex grid squares from, what was that, Mighty Empires? Or
Planetary Empires.
Yeah, Planetary Empires. You can see each round I took a photo of how it was at the end of the game. So basically the strategic level, Danny or I would take take a name, like a person, and say, we're assaulting this point here, and then the other person would respond by putting down a defender. Then however the game panned out would determine who was in control of that zone at the end. So in the bottom right-hand part, the south east part of the map, it was the most intense combat. Like, I think there was like 6 or 7 squares that we fought over there.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there was only 2 of those were held, and they were both held by us. So there was most of the combat happened there, and it was just just monstrous battles for no gain on either side. So it was pretty 30k-ish. Yeah. So at the end of the second round, it was 7-3 to us. So we were looking pretty confident then.
Yeah, we were pretty happy with where we were, I think.
All right. So round 3, how did that go?
Pretty good. That was a pretty crazy round for me, actually. The first match that you drew, I think Danny put up for attacking, was the World Eaters army that had Angron.
Yep.
And Tim was like, who wants to fight this? And everyone kind of didn't make eye contact with him.
Yeah,
and was like,
fucking cowards. Everyone was like,
and I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. Yeah, send me in, Tim.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I want to use my bunker, because I wanted to actually use my bunker. So
yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So this Simon's army was 2 Spartans, with 2 squads of Red Butchers.
How many in each?
5 Red Butchers in each Spartan. 1 Spartan had Angron, 1 Spartan had a Praetor, and a Sicaran. So I was like, oh, shit, okay, cool, this is going to be interesting. So we rolled up, I think it's the Hidden Blade setup from Book 4, and we played the Combat Extraction mission. So basically, if you haven't seen it yet, the Hidden Blade deployment is the attacker has a 6-inch deployment around the 2 short edges and 1 long edge, and the defender has a box on one side that's 18 inches in from each of the other edges. So I sort of have a box in the middle of the table, and he's on the table edges around me on 3 sides.
Yeah.
We rolled up 4 objectives. We put them down. And basically the setup was I set up with my bunker in the middle on my table with 8 las cannons in it. I had a fairly
on
good...
your edge, or?
Pretty much on my edge. So
edge,
I pretty much had coverage to nearly every corner of the battlefield with those las cannons.
Imperial Fist Doctrine.
Yeah, and he set up his objectives 12 inches, just the 12 inches away from the table edges. So he could just roll straight in, first turn, jump out, get the objectives, and go away. So that was his plan, and I don't know what he was expecting me to do. I didn't even know what I was expecting to do, so I thought, you know what? World Eaters, I'm going to assault them. And I think that took him off guard a little bit, so I let him have the first turn. He came towards me. He didn't get out, which I thought was a bit odd. So then my Spartan full of dudes with melter bombs assaulted his first...
They were probably still chanting.
Yeah,
inside.
Actually assaulted the Spartan and then destroyed it with melter bombs, took the assault of the Red Butchers and the Praetor, which I think Stone Gauntlet is pretty tough against assault armies. I mean, you lose your benefits for attacks for charging, the 5+ Invon...
so he loses rage, so he loses 2 attacks.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So my Praetor basically beheaded his Praetor, and that combat went on for a little bit on that side, and basically took his objective off him. One of the ones that he thought he was going to get, I took it off him and left mine back in my deployment zone for the other Breacher squad to take care of. So from then, on the other side, my las cannons were having a bit of a pot shot at the other Spartan, and they got it in the side, so it got no flare shield from the front, and the 8 guys just obliterated it. So it was 5 Red Butchers and Angron on foot. And from there, he's like, shit, I got to get an objective. Went to get an objective, and he's had to make the choice to send Angron to try and kill my guys that were on his other objective. So he's done that, but Angron was left standing in front of 8 las cannons, and it didn't end well for him. So pretty much the game went, I think, at the end of turn...
Wait, just so we're clear, what happened?
He got his ass handed to him.
So you shot him to death?
Shot him to death. Yeah. That was the only time my las cannons did anything that day of note at all.
So, but narrative-wise, did they all shoot simultaneously and just 9-beam him at once?
Yeah.
Or did they just go like, bam, 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 bam,
I'm not
until
sure,
he was ripped
the
apart?
end story, that Angron died. I think I hit 6 out of 8 times.
You're ruining
wounded
my
6
immersion
times. And Simon failed 6 invons and then failed 6 feel no pains, which was just enough to knock him off.
So you only just killed him.
Killed him. But dead's dead. So after that, I think there was only 2 Red Butchers left with 1 objective, and I was left with the other 3 objectives. It was a pretty brutal game.
Yeah, it always is against, especially, I think just last week we were talking about World Eaters and how that was probably the only decent build was
yeah, and that's what I said to him. I said, we just talked about that list, and that's probably the only build I would take.
Red Butchers.
And I'm not so sure about that now, because it's so expensive. It's so expensive.
Well, if you're running them in Spartans, yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably take 1 big squad of Red Butchers and 2 Land Raiders with Reavers or something. But it's just too many points concentrated in 2 small areas.
Ravagers.
Ravagers, yeah, sorry, not Reavers.
Cool.
How'd you go, Andrew?
For my third one, I got Scott. So again,
nice.
the winner of the player's choice. So he was running the Dark Mechanicum, painted blue. So it was a really, really impressive army. I really, really liked it.
Yeah, it's a good colour.
I'm not sure how many games he'd played before that, before the event. I think he was on and off for a while. But
yeah,
I
think he was like a player back in the UK back in the early 90s, late 80s sort of thing. I think he worked for Games Workshop back in the day.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he moved over to Australia, and he only just got back into 30K. He's like one of our podcast fanatics, and
right.
Yeah, he's our demystifying the Mechanicum episode is what got him into Mechanicum apparently. So.
So you're to blame.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, a few people would blame you for that.
Yeah, because he painted that army in 6 days too, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, he painted it super quick.
Yeah, it's good. It's good work. Yeah.
So for our deployment, we got combat drop again. And because, again, I was attacker, that meant I got the 3 12-inch bubbles. I took initiative this time, so I went first. And this one was going to be a little bit harder for me. So it was the data retrieval. So the objectives can only be picked up by an infantry unit. And this is where my list kind of fell over a little bit because I've only got a single infantry unit in my entire list.
Yeah, awkward.
And a unit can only pick up one objective too, right?
No, they can pick up as many as they want.
Okay.
But they can, only an infantry one, and they can only pass it to another infantry unit.
Oh, damn.
And on top of that, you've then got to get that objective back to your deployment zone. So my deployment zones are 3 12-inch bubbles.
Ooh,
His deployment zone
yeah.
is the rest of the freaking table.
Oh, that's rude.
The only advantage I had was that to contest those objectives, all you had to have was a scoring unit within 3 inches. And so, again, I had 8 scoring units, 5 of them being dreadnoughts. So I had a fair bit of denial power, but not much actual claiming or scoring power. But my first turn was ridiculously lucky and knocked out like most of his big firepower. Like all of his Krios was neutered within the first 2 turns. His main one exploded in the first turn with all of the grav. And then
they're pretty hard to take out as well, so that's pretty decent work.
Not with Haywire.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's one of the few things that can fuck them because that flare shield in AV13.
Yeah, that's right. Glance on 2+, so it's all good. So. Which is one of the reasons why I took it. I kind of thought that there was going to be a fair few AV14s or flare shields running around, and I've just haven't seen anyone take Haywire much, like the grav guns. So
yeah. I think
I got a belief of it's all or nothing. There's no point in taking 2 or 3 grav guns. You either don't take any, or you take just fuck tons of it.
Yeah, I think it's the basic grav guns because they're heavy. I think that's the problem, is heavy and a template. So, and they're only range 18. I think that's probably what scares most people off. Because we saw a few of them early on, in the last few years, but seem to have sort of dropped off.
I took 2 of them in one of my breacher squads and didn't fire them once the whole tournament.
You certainly need to put them on a relentless platform like dreadnoughts or somehow on Terminator armor or something like that.
Or grav cannons.
Yeah, grav cannons are sweet. So.
Yeah.
And so basically the game then progressed of my Thalax unit jumping around the board to try and grab 3 of the objectives. The 4th one was too far away from me to even look at, but my aim was to try and grab 3 objectives and then bunker into one of my little 12-inch bubbles and just try and protect them. All of my Contemptors started getting into close combat with Castellax. He had a Thanatar that engaged one of my Contemptors, and we were just both nuffing our rolls. They were just standing there looking at each other, like doing nothing. His stomps were like rolling 1s to penetrate. My attacks were rolling 1s to hit him, and we were just doing nothing. So for that, I was probably lucky because that meant I tied up a heap of his firepower. But his Archmagos on an Abeyant, I think it was, he was a tooled up close combat monster with this liquefying thing and just started kind of...
Oh, so he had Archmagos Dracovac.
Yeah.
I had an argument in the car on the way home because I think you played him or Cecil played him.
I think Cecil did and was saying he didn't even know who he... Cecil had no idea.
Yeah, but you had played him, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
so
for my game, he didn't...
Cecil played him,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because we're having this argument about that liquefractor thing and whether he had it, and Michael didn't know whether he had it or...
Because, I didn't actually get to fight him.
Yeah, right.
He definitely had it.
Yeah. So what are the rules for that, just quickly? You roll
I think from memory, like against something with wounds, basically you roll, or he rolls 2d6. This is instead of doing any attacks, he rolls 2d6 at initiative 1, and then minuses the target's toughness, and that's how many wounds are inflicted.
With no saves, I'm pretty sure.
With no saves.
Yeah, and against vehicles, what you do is you roll 2d6, and then I think it's half the facing of the vehicle you're attacking. Then any points that you roll under that. It so say it's a AV14 vehicle, so you need if you roll double 1s, it takes 5 whole points.
Oh,
yeah, and that's what he did against one of my Contemptors. He went up to a Contemptor, liquefied it, and rolled a 3. It's like, okay, boom.
Yeah. Oh, motherfucker.
So he just started kind of mauling his way across the left side of the board. And unfortunately, that was the side of the board that I was moving my Thalax to, because that's where the third objective was. So basically, in the end, all of the Castellax and the Contemptors and all of the other things were just like off partying with each other, doing nothing. And the entire focus of the game came down to this Magos heading in towards my Thalax, which were just getting whittled down by freaking Myrmidon plasma fusels that were just pumping out shots and just stripping these Thalax away. And the Thalax had ended up with 2 objectives, and they went into combat with the Magos. The Magos just shredded them, and I had to make a leadership check on 5, and they rolled a 5 and stood there, and we were in my deployment zone, and he didn't have any scoring units close by.
Oh, that's epic.
Hey, by the way, they're stubborn at leadership 8.
Oh, laughing. So it was very not as climactic as it was then. So you just took that away from me. Thanks, man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nice work, Tim.
What?
Yeah.
I have to tell people if they're playing wrong.
That's just destroyed the weekend for me, actually.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone.
But no,
I'm sorry,
it was a fantastic. It was one of those games that I didn't really give a shit whether I made the roll or not. If I had lost the game, meh. It was a really, really enjoyable game. And I don't think either of us, like, we chatted for a while afterwards, and neither of us really minded which way the game went. It was just a really enjoyable game throughout. It was just one of those games that, there were no disputes, there was nothing, everything was going. You weren't getting any bullshit rolls or anything, so it really did come down to where people were moving your units, how you were using them, and so whatever happened, it was up to you. It wasn't the dice gods screwing you in the ass. And so it was a really enjoyable game. I loved it.
Oh, awesome.
So.
Yeah, it's good. Scott's a good dude. I want to try and get a game in against him at some point. He's in a club up at the Sunshine Coast, and they have apparently, I think he said 12 players, and they're going to start running a 30k campaign. So.
I think they're doing a slow grow.
Yeah, all kudos to him. If he needs any help, then for sure, I'm happy to try and help him out with the Oz 30k site.
Yeah, excellent.
Have some games against them.
Okay, so my third game. So we were pretty confident going into this round that even if the traders won 5 or 6 games or something, they wouldn't have any way of beating us.
Too little, too late.
Yeah, but everything could have turned, so it was still a little bit tense. So we set up all the games. I was the last person to go. Second last matchup, I think. I ended up playing against Dale Firmstone, who was running a Death Guard army. So if you look in the pictures, you can see that Death Guard army there. So this was the obviously the mission we've just been talking about.
Yeah.
So I was fucking prepared this time. I was like, okay, must execute the mandate, must get these fucking objectives, can't fuck it up this time.
Yeah.
So we both had 2 objectives. We rolled up 4 objectives, which is always good. Which means it's going to be a close game. We each had an objective 2 objectives in each deployment zone, I'm pretty sure, or really close to each deployment zone. Because I was running the garrison list, so you place objectives, and then after the objectives are placed, because I'm running garrison, I can move those objectives up to 6 inches.
Ooh.
So I was able to drag those objectives closer to me, which is pretty cool. He set up all of his shit like in a big sort of like an arrowhead formation, I guess. Set up some couple of Medusas sort of parked back behind like a looks like a hobbit house. Looking at this picture, or like a haystack or something, or a barrow or something like that. He sort of drove forward, but he didn't drive forward very fast. He had this massive unit of Death Shroud Terminators, like 1, 2, 3, like 6 or 7 or 6 Death Shroud. Plus he had Typhon, plus he had a Sorcerer, all in a Spartan. But for some reason he just like drove his shit forward, but just didn't pull the trigger with the Terminators, and they just sort of fucked around for a couple of turns and didn't do anything. So I shot up most of his army. Conversion beamers were really good in this game because he'd placed his Medusas just in range, so that I could drop like 3 strength 10 AP1 shots on them.
Ouch.
So 2 turns in a row. The first turn I just vaporized 1 and did a hull point on the second. And then the second turn I just fucking wasted it. Just fucking blew it into fucking atoms. So I stopped getting pounded with strength 10 shots. Having that Aegis line's really good because you can just go to ground behind it, which is awesome. It was a bit of a standoff. All of his shit had ceramite armor, so I couldn't just blow them up with multi-melters. There was just a bunch of back and forth with my my Krios Venator trying to strip hull points. Didn't manage to actually... I managed to crush the Sikaran Venator... Sikaran Battle Tank with my Krios Venator. Fucking hell.
Gotcha.
But the Spartan's just invincible, so definitely next round I need some anti-Spartan strats, because every time I fought... Well,
melter bombs, man. Melter bombs and chain fists.
Grav cannons.
Grav guns.
I can't take grav cannons.
Ooh,
Mechanicum. But what I can take is Myrmidon Secutors with double grav guns. So
that'll do it.
So that might be the go for next time. What happened? Little Rhino. He had a Rhino with a 10-man Flamer squad. They drove up and just totally wasted one of my units of thralls by putting like 80 hits. I think it was 100 hits straight up, but then two of them, he rolled for Gets Hot because they had Shred because of Death Guard. Two of them died straight up, so it was 80 hits. And we rolled, and I think we rolled the first 50 before they were all dead. So I just wanted to see, if they could survive 80 hits. Because they had Carapace armor and 6+ Feel No Pain. But yeah, no good. At the end of the game, basically there's a lot of back and forth. He had to take a phone call during the game, which meant that he wasn't there for probably half an hour in the middle, which was a bit annoying. But at the end of the game, we both had an objective. I had the Myrmidons, they got out and took one, and then some Thralls were holding the other one, and he didn't have enough firepower left because I'd blown up his Medusas and his little support squad. His support squad were down to 2 guys because they just got shit on by an irradiation engine, and they tried to take a run at like 3 Myrmidon Destructors.
Yeah, it's never going to end well.
Yeah, they just got fucking obliterated. It was hilarious. So we both had 2 objectives, so I think it was 3 points per objective or 2 points or something. Doesn't matter. It was even.
Yeah.
But I got first blood because I ripped his Sikaran battle tank apart on turn 2. So I got the win by 1 point.
Nice. A win's a win.
Yeah. So at the end of all of that, we went over to the Hex grid. And so previous round it would have been, 7-3 or something like that?
Yeah.
So at the end of the round, it was 7 Imperial points to 1 trader point.
Yeah, Q Darude, Sandstorm.
Sandstorm! We basically, over the course of the day, I think the starting... I can't remember what the starting position was. We did win the last one, I think. It was like something like 5-4 or something like that.
Yeah.
But this time it was just a total whitewash for the Loyalists. And we basically just... we almost just blew them off the entire planet and back off into space. But
nearly next time.
Yeah, we basically just harrowed them into one just fucking shitty shantytown in the middle of the map.
Next Inferno.
Yeah. So next Inferno, they're gonna have to get their shit together.
Yeah.
And come at us with some proper
So
armies.
next Inferno is 2,500 points.
2,500 points.
Ooh, it's gonna get interesting.
Yeah.
That's going to open up some options for people.
Yeah.
So you're gonna come up for this one, Andrew?
Yeah, shit like Fellblades. Anything.
I think if I come up again, there's going to be like a freaking hurricane or something like that. So.
I promise.
Yeah, pen up a falchion, man.
Yeah, no, I'd love to come up, but it's on. I think it's going to be on the same weekend as I'm running one in Sydney.
1st of August.
I'm trying to help a Sydney group start up, but
nice.
Yeah, I'm hoping to try and get up for Inferno 4, but we'll see.
Awesome.
I think it's a long way.
Yeah, it's going to be the 1st of August, Inferno 3.
Yeah.
At the same location.
Yeah, so I think Adam said he was going to put it up on Facebook when he got home. So in the next couple of days, if you're keen to get into Inferno 3, get in early.
Yeah. If you're a trader player and you know how
to play.
I need some
help.
Yeah. Need to hit up Daddy on Facebook.
2,500 points is good though. We play 2,500 points in Savage, and we actually find that you lose Typhons because at the moment, at 2,000 points, like the best option for a super heavy is the Typhon. Like you've got the Typhon, Cerberus or Malkador or some Primarchs and that sort of stuff.
Knights as well.
But yeah, once you open it up to 2,500 points, you've then got access to a few other things. And even though points for points, the Typhon is still the best, people will often still take a Fellblade or something like that. And I'm more than happy to go up against a Fellblade over a Typhon.
Yeah, well, I mean, a Typhon has, 6 hull points or something like that?
Yeah.
And then you're talking about 100, 200 points more, and a fucking Fellblade has 12?
Yeah.
So a Fellblade or a Falchion or a the fucking Glaive, like all of those are just tremendous ass kickers, and they can take a fucking massive beating too.
Yeah. The main I think problem that people have with the Typhon is just the size of the blaster strength, AP1, and ignores cover.
Yeah,
it's
incredible.
like you're just not running away from that.
Yeah. Well, it's only 7" as well. Like in the first Inferno, like Inferno Zero, I think people are calling it, the one at the Battle Bunker. I took that Storm Sword, which has the 10" strength 10 AP1 ignores cover. And like I felt like a prick. I played against you, Andrew, and like I think I seized the initiative against you on the mission we played, and I was like, I'm gonna let you go first, man, because it was just so devastating. Like I think there was a third game, and I went, you can.
It was still
game.
A fun game.
Yeah,
you nearly tabled me, I think, from memory, but it's still a fun game.
I think I think Pollux turned up with all those Terminators in a fucking
Assault Ram.
Yeah, new Assault Ram, and I just couldn't do shit to it. So it was pretty thematic, because it was just like, these guys are all sort of lightly armored in this ruin, sort of doing some rights, and then we showed up, just blasted the shit out of them, and then Pollux just smashes down out of the sky and just chases my whole army away, because we're just like, fuck, what are we going to do against that? AV-13 Flyer.
That's right. Pollux, they're picking on me, come help me.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way I wanted to fight that motherfucker in combat either. But yeah, like, that Storm Sword is king shit. The Typhon as well has that special Thunder Crush rule where you Thunder Crush on a 5+, and that's like Cecil had one of those in his army, and he just fucking loves that thing because you can just run a Primarch down. Like if you
I think that's what he was trying to do at Anzac Cup.
Yeah, well I think he tried it twice. And I know Adam Wiseman at Anzac Cup ran down that Archmagos Dracovac with it, just crushed him under its tracks. Because if you roll a 5+ on the Thunder Crush with that tank, or 5 goes to a 6. It's like 2d6 strength 10 AP2 hits.
Ouch.
So if your Primax just standing there on his own, or even if he's with a couple of guys, like he's just gonna get shit all over. So.
Yeah. Well, speaking about super heavies, one of the interesting things about Inferno was, even though it was opened up, you could take Lords of War at sort of 2,000 points. It wasn't that many there.
Yeah, correct.
True.
So we saw, I think there was one Primarch, which was Angron.
Yep.
And what? How many Typhons? I think Adam Wiseman had one. He played 2 games because he was playing Bias.
Cecil had one.
Cecil had one.
Danny had one.
John had one.
John had one.
John McTavish had one. Danny didn't have one.
No, so it was only probably 4 Lords of War out of 18 armies or something.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought there would have been a lot more sort of crowbarring of Primarchs.
Well, if you consider, I think there was, how many players was there? Ended up being 16 or 18 or
18.
18,
yeah.
So Anzac Cup had 18 as well, and out of those 18, I think like 16 of them had super heavies, or sorry, either had a Typhon or a Primarch.
Yeah,
probably like, or maybe 14 out of the 18 had some sort of Lord of War. So it was a totally different. It was there was a lot of different players as well, but yeah, it was interesting to see the totally different meta. And I mean, there was a few, maybe half the players at Anzac Cup were there at Inferno, but yeah, just not nearly as many Primarchs and things. I was expecting to see shitloads.
Yeah, so was I. I was expecting to go up against a Lord of War every time.
Yeah, and I mean, Primarchs are just such tremendous dick kickers. In 200 points, they're so good because just running forward, just tanking shots.
Yeah.
You put them with a couple of Terminators, and they're awesome for taking objectives and that sort of thing. So, and especially with those missions where you can deploy right up in people's shit.
Yeah, and
so your Primarchs,
turn 1 assaults.
Yeah, your Primarch's basically up in people's faces straight away. It was interesting. Oh, there was a knight as well.
Yeah, that's right. There was a knight.
Yeah, that was right. Another interesting thing. There was only one knight in Inferno 2, and Anzac Cup there was only one knight as well. So it's interesting that people aren't running more knights.
Do you think that's just because the model's so expensive, or?
I don't know.
I guess the Games Workshop ones aren't.
Do you see many knights down in at Savage, Andrew?
Well, it's we were kind of tossing up and down whether to have them or not, and that sort of stuff. So the rules are a little unclear. There's some people think that the rules allow Legion armies to take knights as Lords of War. Others believe that they don't. Forge World being Forge World are kind of contradictory with their results. So locally we said Legions can't take them as Lords of War for the first one, and then you're not allowed to take Knights lists. And then last one we've said Legions could take them as a Lord of War, and also they can take them as allies. Not And so the second Savage, we had a couple of knights turn up, and neither of them made anywhere near their points back. They just dropped like bags of shit within 1 or 2 rounds.
Yeah.
People just concentrate their firepower on them, keeping in mind that all of our games are at 2,500 points down in Canberra as well. So that extra 500 points usually brings in like a fair bit more firepower.
Yeah, because that's when you start getting D weapons and stuff.
That's right, D weapons and melters, and things that are just going to start tying them up. I think 1 knight is easy to take care of. 2 knights is still manageable. 3 knights becomes a challenge, and then past that, you're pushing shit uphill.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and also the deployments. I mean, sometimes you just don't know what your deployment's going to be. So if you end up with your knight being in reserve, for example, or
get
just
assaulted by a Spartan full of Terminators turn 1.
Yeah, or just being way back and having 3 turns of shooting against it or something, or it's out of range with its melter weapon or whatever.
Well, that was one thing that I think we were talking about before, that these scenarios and deployments from Book 4 really level the playing field against a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I agree big time. That's something that I haven't done with Savage, and which is something that I'm going to introduce. The missions and the deployments were fantastic. It could screw someone's optimized list over without even trying. It was great. So.
Yeah, it's a great leveler.
You've really got to think on your feet, and actually, it sort of separates the people who just have fantastic lists from the people who are tactically flexible and can adjust to play the scenario from whatever deployment and setup they've got.
And it also allows for people to just play, I want to be a world eater and just throw my shit at you, I don't give a fuck. Like, here comes Angron, motherfucker, sort of thing as well. So, yeah, it's good. I didn't get to use my Shadow Sword. I had a Shadow Sword in my attacker list, but I never got to use it, which is unfortunate. But I think it probably would have ended up just too close to the enemy, and I would have ended up just trying to Thunder Crush it anyway.
Or with melter bombs all over it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, interesting. So we should just quickly go through. The only thing I want to talk about is just Ajax's army. So remember we were talking about, like, is it a dick list or not? Like, blah, blah, blah. I'll just read out the list. So this is my Legio Cybernetica list that Ajax used.
This is the one that I was saying was a dick list last week. Going, what a piece of shit, even though Tim designed this list.
Yeah. So it was the same for the attacker and defender. Had an Archmagos Dominus with a Cyber Familiar, Mechanicum Protectiva, so 3+ invulnerable, Melter Bombs, just in case he got in contact with a Dreadnought. A Dreadnought charged him or anything. Machinator Array, so he was up to toughness 6. And a Bant, so he had 4 wounds, he will not die, move through cover, all that shit. Mastercrafted Photon Gauntlet, just for like shooting Terminators down and stuff.
Yep.
And a Void Shield Harness, just to protect him from small arms fire. I really like that Void Shield Harness on Mechanicum characters.
Yeah.
It's just like, especially that guy who's on that Abeyant, you can imagine that Void, like he's got a Void Shield sort of built into that Abeyant just to stop dudes from just running up and like Jack Rubying him with a fucking las pistol or something.
Yep.
So that was the HQ. That was the 1 HQ and the Warlord. There was 2 Magos Dominus, which were just the basic, unupgraded Magos. Both had servo arms. Both had Cyber Familiars, so 4+ invulnerable. Both had Melter Bombs, and one of them had a Mastercrafted Photon Gauntlet, just for some extra shooting. An Engine Seer Auxilia team, where the Engine Seer in that unit had a Nuncio Vox and a Cortex controller. They were basically... so the Auxilia team was there to support the Thanatar, which was in the army as well. So they could spot for that and also Cortex control it. There was now the 3 sort of strike... Well, there was 4 strike teams. So the Thanatar, supported by the Engine Seer Auxilia. The 5 Castellax, but with 1 with Power Blades. They were being supported by the Archmagos on the Abeyant, he would sort of move forward with them, Cortex controlling them and doing Cyberthurgy for them. 3 Castellax with multi-melters and siege wreckers, mainly just to take a run at vehicles or, sort of create a zone where people would be a bit afraid to send a Spartan in or something like that. They were supported by one of the Magos Dominus, and then 3 Castellax with Darkfire cannons as well. So they basically camp back with the other Magos Dominus. So... and then Siegebot as well, for some reason. Yeah, and then Siegebot on top of that. So, and he was there basically just to guard the Archmagos' back and save him from...
That's a shit tin of Castellax. So all up, how many Castellax was that?
12 Castellax.
12 Castellax, 1 Thanatar,
12 Castellax and a Thanatar, correct.
Right, okay, so that sounds like a pretty dick list.
But supported by, 500 points of characters.
Yeah. Alright, so, how did it go?
I think he lost every game.
Yeah.
But he took them for the team. So I used him basically I sent him up again because it's like a brutal army. You can't just send, and like Danny knew his team, like a lot of the people were his friends sort of thing on his team.
Yeah.
And he knew their capabilities. He knew that he couldn't just put somebody like a noob or something up against the army because it's so savage.
Yeah.
So he had to keep one of his best players, and including himself, because I think he played Ajax in the second round. He had to keep somebody just to make sure that Ajax didn't rampage through and win that game.
Yeah.
So it sort of locked down at least one of his... Stopped him from... I think he won every single round, but when Ajax was constantly attacking, he was... he was constantly having to put somebody there.
Making someone defend. That was good.
Make sure he wasn't losing.
Elsewhere.
Yeah, make sure he wasn't losing a point.
There's a lot of strategy to this whole team game dynamic, which is good.
Yeah.
All of stuff that goes on outside the games.
Yeah. So I mean, the army was definitely beatable, and with those deployments as well.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. Especially, I think. What was it? Sorry, the guys with the running Angron in his army. What was his name again?
Simon.
Simon, that's it. Simon ended up playing Ajax in the round where the defenders got every unit that got destroyed, they would come back on. So Angron would charge into like 3 Castellax with Darkfire Lances, kill them all, and the next turn they just rolled a 5+, and they came back, just walked back on the edge, and then he killed like all 5 of the Castellax with Mauler cannons, like in combat, and they just came back on. So he was just furious about that, just endless waves of fucking Castellax smashing into his shit, but... that's why I think these campaigns are so good, because even though he lost every game, he didn't give a fuck. He was just at the end of the day, we won, and he got to go home with a victory mug, just like the rest of us.
That's the thing. He said he had a fucking good day too. He's like, I didn't give a fuck. I lost 3 games. That was really fun. There were 3 good games. It was like a whole lot of good dudes. And
exactly, and it's a challenge as well. Yeah, it's a challenge as well. Like you're probably in if you're just playing at home, and I pulled out my fucking entire Legio Cybernetica list to play you, you'd be like, oh, fuck, why am I doing this?
No, I can deal with that.
Yeah, well, maybe
I got dick list too.
A lot of people would be just like, what the fuck? So they would never want to...
totally right.
They'd be like, oh, I'm scared of all those Castellax. I'm just going to get my ass kicked. They would never actually sort of like be forced into a position where they'd have to play against it.
Yeah.
Whereas in a tournament... when you're under the hammer and you've got Danny as your captain saying, I'm going to fucking knuckle you if you don't win. It makes you think...
I don't think he ever used those words, but yeah. The added pressure for the team.
Well, he should have. Maybe he should have.
But they weren't getting motivational speeches like ours. Your motivational speeches were superb.
Yeah. Like, my personal favourite was, and don't forget to win. Okay,
yeah,
I can do that.
Yeah, I sent Morgan Weir around to tell everyone. At one point, he's saying, like, okay... I said, just keep an eye on these tables, or keep me appraised of these missions and things, because he had a buy, I think, in the second round. And then I said to him, okay, now's a critical point, Morgan. Go around and tell all of the loyalists that they have to start rolling better, and tell them to start winning. So he was going around whispering in people's ears. So,
I got the message.
Yeah, it's a good time. And
excellent.
We also had a bunch of people, because we were mentioning on the podcast, we were talking it up for a while, and we had a bunch of people show up just from the podcast who turned up to have a look as well and say hi. So that's
it was cool, because there was a whole lot of guys that sent us messages before, which I got to meet in person for the first time, who I didn't even recognize. Like, I didn't even see Andrew at the start, and I was like, oh shit, man, sorry. There's just so much going on.
Yeah.
It was good to see everyone though. Like, I've been talking to a heap of you guys online through the Facebook and all that sort of stuff, and you look at Facebook avatars, and half the time it means jack all.
Bugs Bunny.
But yeah, it was good to kind of match faces up to everyone.
Yeah, no, it was great.
I had a great day. It was like, it was what 30K is all about. It was an event, not a tournament. Everyone turned up, played for the team.
Yep.
Yeah. Also,
immensely.
Most importantly, I should say that my player's pick, I should do a special shout out to Felix.
Yeah, Felix.
We don't talk about him enough on the podcast.
He was sad.
And he's a great guy. He's a great general.
Yeah.
He's a great strategist.
He's just a good dude.
He's a good painter. Did he paint his army?
I think so.
Okay, well, good painter. Everything's great about you, Felix. I even took a photo of you we're going to put on Facebook so that everyone can see you and appreciate you.
Do you remember what army you played? I can't remember what legion you played there.
Ultramarines. Make sure you don't miss that. He gets really upset. So, yeah, no, he's a great guy. I think he's up in Rockhampton, but he's going to move back to Brisbane at some point, so that'd be good. Have him around for some games
Get him
and
in
shit.
a circle.
And yeah, we'll put that picture up and have some Felix appreciation, because I think he won all 3 games as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of guys did really well yesterday.
Yeah,
it was fantastic to see. Yeah,
his army was like 2 Spartans with 20 Terminators
and a Dorito
and a Dorito. Yeah.
Which I asked him about because I'm curious. I haven't ran mine yet.
Oh, and a stick around as well.
And he rates it. He loves a Dorito.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Fucking brutal vehicle. Brutal walker.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, is there anything else you want to mention in this segment, Andrew? Because we were going to...
I think we covered a fair bit. The event was fantastic. I enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed coming up for it. So yeah, it was really, really good.
And thank you very much for winning the games you did, because we were able to just fucking kick the traders almost entirely off the planet.
Well, I think it's almost time for a musical break.
Yep.
And as tradition, the guest gets to pick the music.
Yeah, you get to choose a song, Andrew.
Oh, and you know what? I was thinking on the plane back that you were going to ask me this, and I was trying to think of something, and then I forgot to think of something.
You can't forget to think. Wait, can you? Is that possible?
Yes, trust me.
Yeah.
I'm going to think about that later, and then just forget to think about it. Okay, that makes sense. I've done that before.
Well, if you've done Darude, Sandstorm, you stick to something trancey and find a nice trance album and pick track number 3.
Oh, okay, track 3, trance album. All right, let's just type in trance album into Google. Whatever comes up first, we'll play track 3 of.
Jesus, it's going to get raw. All right, cool. So we're going to go to musical interlude, and then we're going to come back with the wrap up, and Andrew's going to hang around. And
special announcement.
Yeah, some special announcements to do with worldwide happenings and all sorts of things. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be right back after
some trance.
Whatever this trance album is. Hopefully it's a short one. All right. Well, that was an awesome track. Welcome back to the Eye of Horus podcast. Time for the wrap-up. But firstly, we've got an announcement by Andrew.
Could do a drum roll.
Take it away.
Thanks, guys. So this was kind of prompted off by a few guys who are involved in the Act of Heresy, the event that sold out in less than 24 hours, which was a little crazy. And so we wanted to keep some momentum going and get other people involved that aren't actually attending the event. So we've got together with a few others and Secret Weapon over in America, and we'll be running an event called the Packs of Heresy, the Mustering. And it is going to be a 7-month-long painting event challenge.
Nice.
Sweet.
So starting June the 1st, we will be running basically an event challenge, which is to encourage the community worldwide to get painted armies on the table, which I know that you guys take a personal liking to.
That's right.
So the basic format is going to be you create packs saying, all right, I commit to building and painting this unit, this unit, this unit, which adds up to this many points on behalf of this faction. So, for example, Sons of Horus or Imperial Fists or the Solar Auxilia. When you complete the painting, you then upload the pictures of the painted item, and that pact is then completed, and those paints go across to the faction. End of the 7 months, it's the faction with the most painted points is the winner, and they get bragging rights. Obviously a lot more complex than that, but players can kind of create as many packs as they want for as many different factions as you want. So if you've got a new Imperial Fist army or a new Emperor's Children army that you're wanting to start, but then halfway through you then want to start painting something else, that's more than happy. And then intermingled with that, every month for 6 months, there'll be mini painting competitions, and they'll be themed. So, for example, there's one called Heraldry of War, and so that focuses on a banner or an insignia or something to represent some heraldry on your units.
Like Mad Freehand on a Titan shoulder?
Yep, anything like that. That'll be pretty awesome. And those ones are entered in as inspections. And Secret Weapon has given us some gift vouchers, so each one of the inspections will actually be judged, and a winner will get a Secret Weapon gift voucher.
Oh, nice, because they got some really good stuff. I like a lot of the Secret Weapon stuff that they've got.
Yeah, they've been getting behind. They get behind a lot of the painting stuff. They've got some really good painting gear as well as bases and everything like that.
They've got all those weathering powders and things, don't they? And scatter and like those leaf, some of those leaf scatters and this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Some really good stuff.
So it's only going to be a small little token gift voucher because we really don't want to kind of make this like a people really motivated to try and drag something out that they've painted a while ago, because the entire concept is models that you've started painting before the event starts aren't valid for entry.
No cheating, everybody.
So like if you've base coated them or something like that, that's fine. But if you've painted everything except for the lightning effect on the power sword, then you can't enter that one.
Are you going to get people to put in like before and after pictures or something like that? Or?
Exactly, yeah. When you create the pact, you've got to do evidence of progress. So you kind of upload a picture or link a picture of them painted in or unpainted, even unassemble if you want, but unpainted, and then updated with the finished pictures.
Oh, yes.
So for the inspections, each month there'll be a password, a token word, a secret word, whatever, that will be said at the start of the month. And basically when you upload the picture, you put the model next to a piece of paper with that word written on it. And that'll just be kind of proof that you didn't actually start that model until that kind of start of the month.
I like it.
Yeah. So it really is kind of honesty and that sort of stuff. It's not a major thing, but we just didn't want people kind of pulling out a golden demon winning from like 3 years ago and go, yeah, look at this one.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't physically inspect it, that's the next best thing. So
that's right.
Awesome.
So all of the rules and kind of Q&As and facts and all of that sort of stuff will be up on Heresy 30K, and there'll also be links into Oz 30K. All of the pictures and the packs will be run through the Oz 30K website. All of the judging and voting will be done through the Oz 30K website, all of that sort of stuff. So I'll be sending links through to you guys after this. And
straight out.
Yeah, we can go from there. But
we'll tweet those out
it
and
really is
put
just
them
to
up.
try and encourage lots more painting. Just something to try and get the community together. And if Sons of Horus win, then fantastic. They get bragging rights. Otherwise, whoever.
Nah,
Did you
they
hear that?
won't.
Yeah, John McTavish, start painting your fucking Sons of Horus, man.
Oh,
That's right.
Help them out. They're going to need all the help they can get.
Yeah.
And
Cool,
oh, sorry, what were you going to say, Andrew?
I was just going to say, then we can do some updates through the year and kind of keep on promoting each individual's inspection from then on.
Actually, that'd be good. Yeah, we'll check up all the winners. So everyone
Awesome,
can have a
yeah.
good look.
I like the idea of that pact thing. I've never actually done one of those before.
Neither
Basically,
have I.
the main thing that motivates me is, oh shit, there's a tournament coming up in a month's time, and I've got to paint this 1,000 points worth of shit. Fucking gotta get it done! So a more leisurely rate is a good idea, but I think that I'll probably always leave it to the last week for each one, and then go, oh fuck, I gotta get this stuff done. But yeah, I've got I've got all those Vorax and stuff, so definitely be signing up for that.
Cool.
Yep,
Looking forward to it, guys.
Awesome. Okay.
All
Well,
right.
is there anything else you want to shout out? Do you have a Twitter or Instagram or Tumblr?
No, I'm not that technically advanced. All my time goes into Oz 30K and travelling up to Sydney and drowning in floods and playing games and that sort of stuff.
Nice.
So,
Well, you do have a pretty technically advanced site. Like, it's a really great site, and hopefully we can sort of send some more people there to.
Oh, and also the
sign
battle
up.
report competition's still going on.
Yes.
yes, it is. Thanks for reminding me. Up until the end of the month, we've got the Battle Report Global Heresy competition going. So, especially for people who have just participated in some events and that, get some photos, get some fluff about the actual battle, just like what we've been talking about for the past hour and a half or so, and upload it onto the website, and there'll be people voting on it. And at the moment, we've got some prizes from Blood and Skulls Industry, Cromlech, and some event-only miniatures from the Forge World Open Day for prizes. So this will be an ongoing thing that'll tie into the mustering as well. So once this Global Heresy Battle Report competition's finished, we'll launch another one. And there's also some plans afoot with you guys as well that we're going to kind of expand upon, but we'll talk about that over the coming weeks to see if we can flesh it out, I believe.
Exciting times.
Sure will.
Excellent,
Stay
excellent. Well, thanks again, guys.
That's right.
It was fantastic meeting you guys up there and playing with you, if not against you, maybe in the future.
Next time.
But
Most
yeah,
important
looking
part is
forward to
we're
it.
on the same team, so
That's right.
remember
So,
those who
well,
slay together stay together.
you never know.
That's
My
right.
Templars have got a bit of a tendency to go rogue, and
Ooh.
half the games they've played have been as traitors. So
Oh,
next time I
put
could
them
be
down
facing you
next time.
against the table.
Alpha Legion.
Oh, yeah.
Coils of the Hydra. All right, awesome. Thanks for coming
Thanks
on
again,
as well,
Andrew.
dude. That was great. And yeah, doing a wrap up. Like on other podcasts, I really like when they have everyone sort of sit around and talk about their games. Unfortunately, we were going to try and get Ajax and Cecil here, but they were busy. They must have had to go to church or something today.
Go cuddle.
But yeah, that's one of the things I love most about other podcasts is sort of people just talking about their games, giving a rundown, and saying what works and what doesn't. So it was great having you on.
Lots of fun. Thanks, guys.
Excellent, thanks,
All right,
mate.
thanks for your time. See ya.
Cheers. Bye.
Okay, cool. Let's get into some
Listener
listener
mail.
mail.
We need something like a voiceover check because we're terrible.
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah, we're right. Voices of drunk angels.
All right, cool. So I've got some emails. What do you want to do? Just start off with some emails?
Yeah, why not?
All right, cool. So we got a bunch of emails this week. Got one from Josh Hindle. He said, "Hi chaps, great work with the podcast." No probs, man. Thanks.
what we
Thanks.
do.
Thanks for noticing. So he is building up an army, kind of like a shattered legion force, I guess, like a mixed coalition force. But he wants to sort of base it around like Unification Wars era stuff. So his questions are: what do you guys think? If you were going to create a Unifications War veteran army, or even an army from the end of the Unification Wars, what units would you take? Would you include Solar Auxilia or Mechanicum allies? And one thing that he said in his email, I won't read the whole thing out, obviously, but he says, which I thought was interesting, due to the nature of my army, I suspect many of the individual warriors would be Terrans and probably even Unification War veterans. They have extra reasons to think Horus is being a total dick, as they personally remember the horrific struggle to unify Earth itself. Now the War Master has fucked it up and divided everyone again. So, yeah. Oh, also, his guys are traders as well. So, Renegade Astartes from Trader Legions, who are loyalist, and have sort of banded together.
Yeah,
into a
like a
coalition
Shattered
force.
Legion, yeah. But
sorry, I should
obviously,
mention that.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool.
So, but yeah, that's interesting. Especially since the Unification Wars were so brutal and they used all sorts of crazy fucking weapons and that sort of thing. I thought that was like an interesting take.
Yeah.
So, do you have? What do you think?
What I'd do is I would have a look, because obviously if you're the survivors of a traumatic event like that, like members would form like squads from like units. So basically, I don't know, the way I see it is all the Sons of Horus would band together to form a squad, and that squad would come together with, per se, a squad of Emperor's Children or something, and that's what the building blocks of your army would be.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go for individuals from different legions in different squads. I'd keep them thematically tied in.
Yeah, squads.
Yeah, and take some of the things from the special things from each. Like, I'd have a Sons of Horus unit that was Reavers, and then take, I don't know, maybe some Phoenix Guard from Emperor's Children, just for example, and use them like that. But also what I'd do is tie them together with a separate color. And I wouldn't have Sons of Horus, obviously, as Sons of Horus. If I was them, I'd be like, fuck Horus, man. We're back to the Lunar Wolves. Death Guard back to Dusk Raiders.
Yeah.
World Eaters back to, were they Warhounds?
Yeah, Warhounds.
Back to the Warhounds, back to their original colours.
Yeah.
And represent that and use their heraldry as well.
Emperor's Children back to just
Emperor's
like
Children.
little bottle babies, fetuses in jars. Or...
Yeah, whatever they were. But where I had the opportunity to do that, I'd definitely do that. And I'd have one overall theme that ties all the squads together, like the left shoulder pad of every unit is black, or something like that, to tie in all those individual squads into the overall theme of the army.
What about a charismatic praetor who's a leader, who has his own personal heraldry, and
definitely.
they all have the same heraldry sort of thing?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's a really good idea.
The Knights Errant are pretty interesting in that they I think they repainted all of their armor, but I think they have their original Legion shoulder pad, maybe.
Yeah,
something like that, or a special symbol.
Well,
or something
that's
like
another
that.
way
That
to do
could
it too. Yeah, there's like a lot of good options. That's how I'd do it. That's what I think I'd do if I was going to do that.
Yeah.
And and it'd be a lot of older stuff. So I'd keep all Cataphracti, Terminator. I think I can't remember whether you said it or whether it was in the email, but the idea about the Contemptors is a good idea.
Yep. Oh, that was in his email too. Yeah,
I really like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, he says he wants new additions to his force to fit in with this idea. His current thoughts are getting multiple Contemptors, as the Unification Wars were so long ago. Chances are many of those that took part have since been crippled and interred in dreadnoughts.
Yep.
And he's also looking at getting a unit of Cataphracti Terminators, all with Volkite charges.
Yeah.
Fucking Volkites, yeah. Riding in a Land Raider Proteus. This is an early, old type of vehicle, apparently.
Yeah, I like the idea of veterans, because all those guys are going to be old, grizzled dudes if they are veterans from the Unification Wars.
Yeah.
They're veteran. I'm not going to fuck with them.
Yeah, exactly. So he mentioned Solar Auxilia and Mechanicum as allies. I like the idea of that, because I like the idea of a primary force of Mechanicum maybe with smaller sort of Shattered Legion force with them, because you can imagine that members of Trader Legions who have stayed loyal are probably more likely to be small units that are under the control of a different entity, like the Mechanicum, or attached to a rogue trader or something like that, or maybe a Solar Auxilia fucking legate general.
Because that's the other thing too. Like, not every member of every loyalist, not every loyalist member of every Trader Legion was at Istvan. There's like still squads out in different missions, squads posted to other legions.
Yeah.
A lot of them just got executed, but they're still out there too. So there's lots of whole formations out there with all their gear doing other shit at the time of Istvan.
Oh, you look at the Battle of Paramar, right? Like there was a whole, it was the Alpha Legion attacking a Mechanicum outpost, and there was Iron Warriors there who weren't even aware of the fucking heresy. Yeah, so that was pretty interesting. So the army that I'm running, the Iron Hands that I've talked about, I want them to be Unification Wars. So I'm leaning more towards running head of the Gorgon and just running tactical squads with extra hand weapons, just to sort of bulk them out a bit, make them look a bit more sort of heavy infantry and sort of tooled up. But I also like the idea of running either Pride of the Legion or running the Delegatus, because he has that special right where he allows you to take veteran tax as troops.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, veteran tacticals as troops is pretty cool. That's and then part of my theme is also having a bunch of destroyers and Moritats and those.
Speaking about destroyers, actually, I like destroyers. You could have a whole lot of Dusk Raider destroyers and stuff, because that's like right up their alley.
Well, if you read the background for destroyers as well, that actually they started during the Unification Wars. It was like a Terran idea. Was the fucking rad grenade? It was like a Terran idea. So it's pretty cool. You got to imagine, like, with all this rad grenade warfare and all this shit that went on in Terra, there must be on Earth. You'd have to imagine that.
That's
I don't know.
Big shit, huh?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe in say 7000 AD, during the height of technology or whatever, that some guys figured out nanites that repair the planet and pick up all of the radiation and dispose of it somehow using like nanobots or something. So you can have like endless radiological warfare and just over 100 years, these nanites sort of like sweep across the planet and fix everything or something. That's just a crazy idea I had. Anyway, veterans, destroyers, Contemptor dreadnoughts.
Yeah,
Land Raider Proteuses. They're pretty good.
The oldest
they're a bit older and
predators.
Look cooler. Javelin speeders maybe. High tech.
Yeah.
Sort of older. Are they newer or older? They look sort of older, don't they? They look more classic.
I don't know, but it wouldn't stop me including them.
There's
always ways to write them in.
Yeah, Mark III, Mark II.
Yeah, for veterans. Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully that's helped you in some way.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and maybe also like if you're going to go for like an allied contingent, maybe an allied knight from one of the older knight houses. I think
that's a good idea.
House Terran that are closer to Earth than the other ones. Well, there's some of those knight houses are really ancient and have the oldest sort of ties to the Imperium.
I think it was House Maccabeus that still was half traitor, half loyalist.
Oh, right,
and there's chances for loyalists to still be hanging around. It would make sense to be part of a Shattered Legion.
Yeah, thematically like one of those like a knight house with the really old heraldry sort of thing, quartered armor and all that sort of thing. Maybe like a classic symbol like a griffin or a pegasus or a unicorn or something. It's pretty cool too. In terms of running that army, because there's no rules for running all of those different Legion Astartes rules, I don't think, without having an allied force.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You could just do it as a paint job. Take Pride of the Legion and just say, these are all veterans painted differently but tied together through the one theme.
But the Legion Astartes rule is what I mean.
I guess you'd just have to take the hit and say, okay, and just take the generic one, say they all have Furious Charge.
Yeah, all have Stubborn. I reckon all Stubborn's good.
All Stubborn is good.
Because then you can have a whole bunch of veterans with Sniper or Outflank or something like that.
Yeah.
And then fucking all Stubborn as well.
Yeah.
That's brutal as shit.
Well, because then if you take all veterans, they get to choose like their individual skill for the squad anyway.
Yeah.
So you could tool them up to represent the different specialities of the different legions.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's why I love Heresy, man. You can make just small veteran armies like that and just pump them out like an awesome concept army like that really easily. Yeah. And it's still on the battlefield. It'll still kick the shit out of people, you know.
Yeah, it's still effective.
Yeah, and it'll look fucking awesome, and you've got awesome background. So
actually, I want to see how that goes. I hope we have helped you with something, but yeah.
Yeah, send in some of your picks, Josh. We want to see your stuff. All right. Next up, we had an email. Oh, we had an email from Frederick.
Swede.
Frederick the Swede.
He's our first African listener who doesn't think we're a Black Devil sex cult podcast or something.
Yeah, we didn't have anyone from which country was it again?
Antarctica.
Zaire. What was it?
I think it was from Zimbabwe.
Yeah, we didn't have anyone from Zimbabwe.
Get back to us.
Yeah, get back to us. So I don't know. Maybe they're not listening anymore. Yeah. Might have upset them, but yeah, he gave us a shout out from Africa. I think he's in Mali, and he attached a picture where he's wearing his World Eater shirts. I think he's with some like peacekeepers or something over there. It looks like.
Yeah.
So it looks
stay
awesome.
safe, bro.
Yeah, stay safe, bro. All right. Now I had an email from Edward Hughes. Ed Hughes. So he played to Anzac Cup. He has a Alpha Legion army, and he dropped by Inferno, said hi. Now, he says, "Hi guys, it was good to see both your armies in action in Inferno. I think Angron's going to be nursing that headache for a little while."
Las cannons.
As a 30k noob, I particularly enjoyed hearing a discussion on Legion-specific rights of war, as it helps me understand how the legions that I've never faced before work. If you ever run out of ideas, get sick of bashing Per Turabo,
Never.
maybe you could make it a weekly segment. So that is a good idea. We should probably do that. Do you want to start doing that?
I think we should.
Go through a different right of war each week?
Yeah. So we should go and research this one, so we can give it our best effort.
Oh, well, this is just a question. But
Okay.
We'll start with the rights of war. Let's start from next week.
All right, done.
People should write in and vote for which one they want to... no, we'll just choose one.
We'll just choose it, yeah.
Otherwise you'll be heartbroken
What is this,
when we don't
fucking
choose
democracy?
yours. Yeah, no, it's not. All right, on that topic, here's a question which I think you might enjoy answering. Coils of the Hydra right of war lets you steal one Legion-specific unit and then buff it with mutable tactics. Which one would you steal, put on your bushiest beards, and get sneaky guys, make old man Alfarius proud? So there's so many units. I'm just going to check.
That's such a hard question.
You reckon?
Yeah. That is there's so many good options and good combinations. To think of the very best one, whoa.
The very best one according to us, though. So
okay. Cool.
But
No
I had
pressure.
a question, right? So if you're playing Alpha Legion's one of the best legions for playing either side in a campaign day or a tournament, right? Well, a tournament doesn't really matter, but in a campaign. So if you're playing as a trader, Alpha Legion, do you only take your special unit, your special infiltrated unit, or your special imposter unit? Do you only take that? So you're playing trader, do you only take that from the Loyalist Legion? And if you're playing as Loyalist, do you only take your secret unit from the traders? Why not?
That's because that's like part of the Alpha Legion, like, goddamn bastardry.
Yeah, but if I'm Alpha Legion and you're Imperial Fist, right? And I'm saying, I'm Loyalist, man, and then I show up with all my dudes in power armor, and we've also got some fucking salamanders that we've fucking coerced.
Ooh.
You're going to be like, who are these guys?
These
and we're going to be, they're just guys who are on our side.
What are these Justarian doing here?
They're on your side or our side, I mean.
Friends. Don't worry about those Justarian.
No, see, Justarian makes sense because you've taken them, you've infiltrated the enemy, and they're fighting with you.
Ooh.
But if you're a Loyalist and you've infiltrated Loyalists, then other Loyalists are going to be like, well, what's to stop you fucking infiltrating us, bitch? Like, you can't do that shit.
I see your point now. I don't know. That would have to be... Yeah. Okay, let's just say to keep it simple, if you're going to play Loyalist Alpha Legion, you take a Loyalist.
No, if you're playing Loyalist, you have to take an infiltrated trader unit.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah, okay. You confused the shit out of me then, but I see now.
Okay, well, our listeners will say that assuming they're a bit more clever than you. And
that's got
this straight up.
That's a granted.
Okay, so rewards of treason. An Alpha Legion force whose primary detachment is using this right of war may select a single Legion-specific unit, normally allowed only to another Space Marine Legion. Note this does not include independent characters or unique traits, as an elite's choice on their force org chart. This unit has the equipment and special rules that they would normally. However, they have the Legion Astartes Alpha Legion special rule, where this is relevant, not the Legion Astartes special rule of their parent Legion.
Ooh. Now that is a good question.
So we'll go over this entire right of war. We just need, obviously, to read the entire thing and prepare for it a bit before we... I think
we'll definitely answer it.
We upset some World Eaters people by not going over every single thing. So, so I've got my unit in my mind. Have you got yours? We'll save them at the same time. We'll do a countdown.
Dude, there's just too many. My mind is still spinning. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. I just don't know. There's just so many.
Okay, we'll have a think. And in the meantime, I'm going to talk about Lernian Terminators.
Ooh, okay.
Actually, no. I'm gonna deliver a speech to Edward Hughes. So you think about it.
Okay.
And tell me when you're ready. And in the meantime, Ed Hughes, this is a message for you. What you need to do is get some vehicles. You need to get some You need to go onto the internet, and you need to use the power of the internet. Get out your wallet, get out your credit card, whatever. Get a bundle of fucking money and put it in a briefcase and send it to Forge World. And you need to get some Rapier laser destroyers because they're awesome with Alpha Legion. You can give them tank hunter. Or you can infiltrate them, which is which is great. Like infiltrating some goddamn rapier laser destroyers into the side of somebody's Spartan is pretty great. You need to get some Learning Terminators, maybe convert some up, maybe not. If you're going to use a Rite of War, you're going to need like 3 tactical squads, but you've got heaps of infantry. The other thing you need is some sort of like vehicle, like just a total fucking destroyer. So in 2,000 points, that's pretty tough. I guess you could go for a Typhon or something like that, but I would say a Sicaron Venator. So Ed Hughes, this is your shopping list. Laser Destroyer Laser Destroyer Rapiers, Squadron, maybe battery, maybe 3. And a Sicaron Venator. So they're your 2 shopping list items, because those will really fucking help you out. Smashing that fucking Sicaron Venator Strength 10 AP1 beam into shit will just like save your ass. And especially if you come up against someone else with a Typhon, they'll totally save your ass. And then being able to just pound into a Primarch from ages away as well is pretty decent too. So have I bought you enough time?
No.
Okay.
My head is still swimming. I have no fucking idea what I'd take.
Really? Alright, well, you gotta just say one.
Alright.
Okay, we'll do a countdown and then we'll just say them. Alright. Do a countdown and we'll say them. 3, 2, 1. Red Butchers. Oh, you didn't say anything!
I was about to, and
you
beat me.
You're gonna say, I was
gonna say Red Butchers.
I knew you'd say that. Fucking Red Butchers, man, with that Rite of War.
Yeah.
So you take a squad of Red Butchers, and then you can give them fucking infiltrate.
That's
Imagine
pretty cool.
Red Butchers infiltrated right up in people's shit. They'll be unstoppable. Especially with
that's pretty good.
the sergeant dude with dual fucking chain fists, power axes. All they lose is, I think they lose rage from the from the World Eater special rule, but they're re-rolling the charge and they're fucking just tremendous motherfuckers.
Yeah. There's a couple of good options I'm thinking of too, like the Salamanders Terminators.
Oh, Fire Drakes.
Fire Drakes with counterattack. Just put them out there.
Yeah. Infiltrate.
Option. Yeah, infiltrate. I know infiltrate's strong. Pyroclast with Tank Hunter.
Well, think about this. Oh, yeah, Pyroclast is pretty good. Pyroclast, can you give a Pyroclast a Proteus or something like that? Like vehicle? Dedicated transport?
I'm pretty sure you can give them some form of dedicated transport.
Because Red Butchers can take a dedicated Spartan, and then the whole thing can fucking infiltrate.
Ah.
So there you go. That's the third part of your army, Ed Hughes. You need to get a whole bunch of Red Butchers and an infiltrating Spartan.
I really had nothing then. My brain just could not think of a single fucking good thing.
Jesus H. Christ, you used all of your tactical brilliance yesterday.
I was exhausted after yesterday.
Wait.
Yeah, I was fucked.
Yeah, it is tough. It is tough playing 3 games in like 8 hours.
I have to think all day. What the hell?
Alright. Moving on. We hope you answered the question there, Ed. The answer is...
I promise I'll have some more creative, better input next week.
The answer is Tim knows what he's talking about. Michael's brain is dribbling out of his ears.
Pretty much. On that question, there's just too much. I was just in overload. I was just thinking of all the wonderful things that you could do.
What about shit like, what are the Emperor's Children, the Phoenix Terminators?
Yeah, that'd be good infiltrating.
Infiltrating.
Pretty much infiltrating is good for anything. Like it's probably the go-to one, I reckon. Infiltrating heavy weapons teams, all sorts of good stuff. Imagine infiltrating Tyrant Guard.
Yeah, I really like the idea of Siege Tyrants.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, yeah, that's brutal. Siege Tyrants infiltrating.
Yeah.
Fuck, with chain fists and shit as well.
There's so many good options. There's just too many.
How would they fucking infiltrate? They'd have to wear like ghillie suits or something.
Yeah, just all this black smoke belching out of them.
Put a haystack over the top of them. Yeah. Spray them bronze so people think they're just a bunch of statues. Every time no one's looking, they just run forward, strike a pose.
It's a time, Mr. Wood. What else we got this week?
All right, we got an email from Joe Schmidt. So he's we're going to send him some stickers. They're on their way, Joe. Love the show. I had something I figured you could help me with. I'm building a Raptors Raven Guard army based on the crazy mutant dudes from Deliverance Lost.
Nice.
If you were going to build a Raptors army, what would you include? I prided a Legion vets to represent their superhuman strength, or their super strength. It uses the Furious Charge rule. What else would you do? So you've read that book, right? The one where you know all about that shit, where the Raven Guard. So So what is it? The Emperor gives them some technology that
Yeah, it
goes
gives
apeshit?
it gives Korax this what he basically used to make, I don't know, the custodes, I think, like so they can make these new Raven Guards super strong and super quickly. And the Alpha Legion have infiltrated the Raven Guard and basically pollute this new gene sequencing technology that they've got to make these guys really fast with demon blood.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
basically all these dudes one day just to go, oh my god, I'm not feeling too well, and explode into like hideous monster mutant men. But however, the ones that were made before that actually happened are like basically, I don't know, like custode level psychos. They're just like, yo, fucking king shit space marines.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're like super fast, super strong, super smart. And it's
Wait,
just,
so half of them are just awesome dudes?
yeah, they all are up to a point, and then all of a sudden one night, when it's a full moon or some shit, all these other ones that have been made with the tainted technology just like turn into these giant mutant men. Like,
Yeah. So does demon blood make them have just like they just hear whispers in their minds and shit?
no, they turn into themselves, but they just get totally mutated, and they kind of like turn into things like the Gorbovak.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so they're like these giant fucking misshapen mutant space marine guys.
Christ almighty.
Yeah,
Ah,
like scales and all
That's
sorts
a
of
good
shit.
unit to use with the coils of the Hydra.
Oh, that'd be a good one too. Yeah.
Okay. So to represent these guys, so are they more like
Yeah.
Galvorback, or are they like just like furious charge guys with power swords and that sort of thing?
No, from the description, they sound like Gorbovak. They've got scales. They don't fit their fucking armor. They're like mutants. They literally just like just burst out
in
of everything.
In 40k, wasn't there some chapter that were they the Raven Guard chapter they're called the Dragons or something like that, and they grew bone spur like Wolverine blades out of their hands and shit?
And out of their elbows and stuff. And everyone was like, oh,
Were they
they're
Raven
from the
Guard
Raven
guys?
Guard. Yeah, I think they were.
Yeah,
like
it's
descended from the...
some weird callback to them somehow.
Yeah. So basically, I like the idea we're taking veterans.
Yeah.
I think some veteran squads, I'd actually use the veterans to represent, because I think they made... Actually, no, they didn't. I was going to say they made mixed companies of the survivors from Istvan and all these new guys, but what they did is they totally segregated them. So all the survivors were in one company and all these new dudes were in the other. So I don't know about running... Because they're supposed to be brand new guys.
Yeah.
Like, brand new, but they're mentally...
So they're traitors, right?
No, they're good.
What, the mutant men?
Yep.
They're good.
They're good.
So they got demon blood in them, but they're
yeah,
good.
but okay. Basically, the story is they're all waiting to be put down by Korax in this big hallway, and then all of a sudden, Alpha Legion decides to go, shit, we're stealing this gene tech, we're fucking out of here, start Project Mayhem.
Yeah.
And basically, all these Alpha Legion guys that are hidden within the Raven Guard that don't know they're all there, all converge in the one spot and go, oh, hey, John, I didn't know you were from Alpha Legion. And it's like, oh, hey, Mick, yeah, let's fucking steal this shit and fuck off.
Yeah.
And so they all meet at this place and start stealing the gene tech, while like this Mechanicum rebellion that they've started outside with a warlord titan starts to come in onto their base, onto the Alpha Legion's stronghold. Raven Guard stronghold.
Yeah.
But while they're doing it, like the fucking all these mutant men waiting to get put down are like, hey, you shouldn't be stealing that, and just start like punching the shit out of like these Alpha Legion dudes. And Korax at the end is like, you guys are alright. I'll keep you around.
Just gonna overlook the whole demon blood
giant
thing.
Mutants, you're alright.
Can you hold bolt guns? Here you go.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So then he sends them out on missions and shit.
Yeah, he gives them armor and just goes fully instated. Let's go fucking take some heads.
Oh, holy fuck. Alright. Wow, okay. So modeling them in the game.
Yeah.
I
go to town. I'd use Galvorback to represent them.
Yeah, but you
I
can't run Galvorback with the Raven Guard rules there.
What I'd do is
I got the solution.
Yeah?
There's a unit here called Dark Fury Assault Squad.
Yeah, they're awesome. I love them. I just want to see someone use them.
So that's easy. You just get... So what are they? They're fast attack squad. They're 175 points for 5, 30 points each, but they come with fucking lightning claws, right?
Yep.
So all you need to do is take some basic troops to represent guys who are there to just make sure these mutants don't go apeshit.
Yeah.
You could even use Pride of the Legion to do that. So you take Furious Charge or whatever, infiltrating guys, and then you just max out on those Dark Fury assault squads, tooled out with Raven Claws, and then you can model them as jump pack dudes, and then just remove their arms and give them like blade arms.
That's a good idea.
Take the lightning claws off. or give some of them lightning claws because some of them probably because they don't all grow like Wolverine claws and shit, right? Like some of them just have stupid club hands and shit.
Yeah, there's a crazy collection of mutations.
Do any of them have like a slug body or anything, or are they?
No.
So they're still like just jacked men.
Kind of, yeah, they're jacked men.
Jacked men with blades.
Yeah.
Yeah, well that's perfect. Dark Fury Assault Squads, dude. What you need to do is just max out on some Dark Furies because they're pretty good as well. Like with those Raven Claws, they get mastercrafted and rending.
Yep.
So strength 4 rending is nothing to sneeze at. You can go up to you can penetrate AV13 up to AV13 with that.
Yeah.
So leap at light vehicles, leap at dreadnoughts, and just
That's
fucking
really
glance them down with a shitload of attacks. And with so if you've got 10 of them charging, that's what fucking 40 attacks. Oh wait, yeah, 40 attacks on the charge.
That's a lot.
And up to, you'd have to roll them in groups of 4 because 1 from every 4 attack you can re-roll as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, rending, you just bring a fucking dreadnought down with those guys easy. Yeah, so that's our answer. Your answer is within the list. It's easy. Dark Fury Assault Squad. So
and actually, if there's a list that lets you take more elites, I think the Raider Force Org.
Yeah, if you're playing in a campaign.
Yeah.
They're faster attack though.
Take more Deathian strike squads as like your normal Raptors, like the elite, because not all of the guys that were genetically enhanced with the speed up process turned into mutants.
Yeah.
So the Raven Guard still has a whole lot of these like super psycho guys that are like super fast and super awesome.
Oh, okay.
So the more Deathian strike squad could be your core troops, as like the guys who aren't like crazy. Like mutants. These guys, the mutants.
And attacking at night works well as well, because
Yeah.
they're sneaky motherfuckers.
Yeah. And because in the book, they do like all these like awesome by the book commando raids.
Do they? Oh, yeah. I reckon those Dark Furies would be rad in Storm Eagles too. Like, obviously, Storm Eagle, you got the problem where you don't come on straight away, but a whole bunch of those Dark Furies assaulting, like a Storm Eagle lands, and Dark Furies can move out of it and then do a fucking fleet charge, or do a 12-inch move and then assault stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So yeah, an army,
Furies, love 'em.
yeah, that sounds great.
Well,
Pride of the Legion. So either Pride of the Legion, up some veterans with sniper or something like that.
Yeah.
And Dark Fury assaults
To represent the mutant guys, and then make the models with like model them as mutants.
Yep. And then if you can take a raider list, then yeah, fucking just go with fucking more Dathans and a whole shitload of Dark Furies.
That's pretty Raven Guard.
Yeah.
But actually, have you got anything else?
That's all the emails.
Well, actually, just segueing into that, we had a good letter from Trevor Goddard this week. He's been pretty busy. He sent in some awesome pictures of his Space Wolves and his Ultramarines. So he's got quite an extensive Ultramarines collection, and now he's like branching out into some Space Wolves, which look good. But he actually sent in a really solid Raven Guard list as well. So it's up on the page to have a look. I really like it, and that's what I was when you were talking about Dark Furies. That's about the only thing I think his list needs is a couple of Dark Furies.
Yeah,
they're my favorite unit.
I think for a themed army, they're pretty good because you can like if it's a themed army, who gives a shit? You know, you can chuck in whatever, spend as many points as you want on just awesome themed stuff or like concept. You know, if it's a concept list. But yeah, for a normal army, if you're trying to go a bit more balanced, you probably want to run maybe just one unit of Dark Furies because they are pretty expensive. But for a themed army based around those mutant men going ape shit, that's fucking awesome. And then imagine that. Imagine Korax leading a big unit of them as well.
Yeah.
So you got Korax flying around. Yeah. Okay. So back to Trevor Goddard. I was just looking at those Space Wolves. They look fucking awesome.
Yeah. And I think Space Wolves, after reading Unremembered Empire, are perfect allies now for Ultramarines.
Yeah,
because like that squad of 10 dudes just come and hang out with like just have beers with like Gilliman. It's all sweet. It's all good.
Lionel Johnson just kicks one after death. That was awesome.
But have you seen his Raven Guard list? It's just underneath the pictures of Space Wolves there. So a pretty decent list. So it's Alrax,
Alvarax Morn.
Yep. A Master of Signals. A couple of tax squads that infiltrate. This is all infiltrates. What he's going to do is he's going to use, I think at the moment he's trying to decide, but a heavy support section of multi-melters infiltrating.
Oh.
I think that's a good idea because it's in theme. Like he was talking weapon-wise, like looks and stuff. It's compact.
Yeah.
But you can give some people a nasty surprise infiltrating those guys because you could infiltrate pretty close up.
Oh yeah, fuck it. And just besides the fact that if you get within 12 inches with like a fuckload of vehicles, that anything that's not Ceramite shielded, they'll just totally fucking end it. That's still 10 fucking strength 8 AP1 shots that you can rip into Terminators and just infantry and everything like that, and just fucking totally fuck the world up. So that's awesome.
And he's got a big sort of more tooled out, more Deathian as well. So I like that.
Yeah, more Deathian. Oh yeah, fucking 10 of them. Holy
solid.
shit.
I reckon that's a solid list. I want
weapons.
to see that in action. So keep us up to date with how that goes, Trev. I want to see that.
I wonder which combi weapons he's gone for. Whether he's gone for plasma or... He's got 3 plasma guns and 7 combi weapons. So I'm guessing they're combi plasma. That's the best.
Yeah, that's going to rip just
the way to go. Yeah,
apart.
Just totally rip infantry apart like they're not there. Yeah, that's rad. I was just looking at the feedback thing here on Facebook, and our friend LK from Half God Studio, he's a guy who painted up a bunch of.
I remember his Pollux. Yeah,
the Pollux and stuff. He says, "Lols at episode 9, totally up for the Warlord Titan pro painting showdown."
Yeah,
so,
do it.
Excellent. We got one pro painter ready to go. We just need somebody to go up against him. So if you're a pro painter from one of these like pro painting studios.
Well, actually, speaking of pro painters, Chris sent in from Scattershot Painting.
Yep.
I talked about he had sent us a work in progress on his display level knight. He's actually finished it and sent it in, and it's on the page, and it looks amazing.
Oh, the Castigator?
Yeah, some next level stuff going on there.
Fuck it, that looks great. So can people just see all this stuff?
Yeah.
They're not us?
It's on there. It's just in the post. I haven't updated the gallery this week because I've been so busy with getting ready for Inferno and living, but I'll definitely sit down and put all those into the gallery because there's some amazing stuff people are doing.
So he says, display quality Castigator, 25 hours of work from build to finish. This knight is part of a loyal sect of House Maccabeus, rebranding their heraldry to be swords of the Emperor rather than the hammer of Horus. Yeah, that's fucking rad. That looks so good. Such a good color scheme. I love fucking Castigators.
The weathering's really good. It's not over the top. Like a lot of the weathering I do is over the top. That's stuff that Chris has done is like really nice and subtle. It's like
that's great.
Realism, a double plus.
All right, so that's Chris from Scattershot Painting. So check out his page, and also check out Half God Studios on Facebook as well. So we need to get Christopher Birch. You need to buy a fucking Warlord when they come out and take on LK.
Or convince someone to buy one and you just paint it.
Yeah. Okay. So LK's up. If you're another pro painter, you need to fucking sign up. Come to our page. Tell us you're down for the Warlord Titan Pro Painting Showdown. And
the reward will be a praise and admiration from us and the entire Eye of Horus podcast fan base.
Yeah, we're not going to buy you a Warlord or anything, but
I wish we could.
We'll send you a prize. We'll come up with a prize.
Yeah, stickers. Bigger stickers, different stickers.
So you got to register on our page. Let's make it a competition. So you got to register on our page.
By saying
I'm up for it.
I'm up for it. DTF. DTP, down to paint.
Yep, DTP. And then the challenge is the first person who does an awesome pro painting job and they're happy with it. So you got to personally be happy with it.
You can't just undercut it black and like get a toothbrush and flick 3 different colors on it.
Yeah, if you do that, it's going to be pretty fucking obvious.
Yeah, we'll know.
But someone who's a pro painter and they pro paint it, they're happy with it, and they put it up after 3 days. People are going to be like, "Holy fucking shit, you did that in 3 days!"
Yeah.
If you put up a pro painter thing that's the same level, but you put up in 5 days, people are still going to be like, "Holy fuck, 5 days!" But you're not going to win.
It wasn't 3 days.
First person's going to win. I've totally lost that page where I wrote down our times.
It's here somewhere.
I think I said 5 days and you said like 8 days or something like that.
I think I said something sensible.
So the side effect of that is whoever... I have no idea where I put that piece of paper.
It'll turn up.
The side effect is the closer you are to the day that Michael and I have picked, depends who has to give the other person some cash.
Yeah.
Cold hard cash.
$5 hard in cold hard currency.
Now that we've got somebody, now that LK's in, let's boost it to $20.
Shit, son.
$20.
No, let's make it more interesting. Let's say
$10,000. How much?
I was going to say a model of the other person's choice to a maximum value of 50 Australian dollars. So that's probably like 5 TAC Marines or something.
Let's see. A Primarch level model.
Ooh, all right, done.
A Primarch level model of the choice.
It's up to you, pro painters. Who do you want to win? Who wants to buy what?
Yeah, come on, pro painters. And you want to do it in the shortest possible time so that I win.
Nah.
Get me a Vulcan.
Oh, I'll get you a Vulcan.
Get me a fucking Samus.
Give me a Samus, mate.
Awesome. What else has come through Facebook? There was a couple of other things. Oh, Trevor Goddard's Ultramarines. They look fucking sweet.
He's been a very busy boy.
Adrian Beale wrote in. Just listening to episode 10. Lists that are limited to one console can still take Centurions.
That's a good point.
I think Centurions get massively overlooked, seeing as they are 50 points. Put one on a jet bike, and they're pretty awesome. So does that mean? So if you upgrade one to a console,
it becomes a console.
It becomes a console then.
I think that's what he's saying.
So he's saying if it only allows you to take one console, it means you can take like one Master of Signal, but then you could also take like two Centurions.
Yeah.
That's
I didn't
interesting.
even think of it that way.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But that's good because he's right. Those characters, like just on their own, just on a jet bike with melter bombs, can just run around going, hey.
Yeah,
whatever.
fucking oath. Especially if you just want a dude on a jet bike who's just going to take a run at vehicles with melter bombs.
And it's cheap too. It's relatively cheap. Like you can get away with that for like 70 points or something.
Yeah. Well, the jet bike gives him a 2+ armor save too, so you don't have to give him artificer. Melter bomb's like 5 points.
Yeah.
And gives him a heavy belter as well, so you can just shoot into light shit
and you can't
fly around.
Yeah, you can't just leave that alone. That's just going to go vehicle to vehicle with melter bombs going, what up?
Yeah, and depending on your rite of war as well, it might give you some more crazy options. Could give him a one of those
Phoenix Spears, Sonic
Phoenix
Shrieker
Spear or something like that. Sonic Shrieker.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Fucking,
just challenging characters.
That Imperial Fist's Mega
Solar
Fist.
Gauntlet, yeah. Well, thanks for that, Adrian. That was something to think about.
Yeah, that's a good catch. Yeah,
good strat.
If we ever say some crazy shit and we don't think of something like that, just write in, go on the Facebook and just write in, because it's always good. Like, we're obviously not the fucking last
Beal and Endor
of tactics
stuff.
and things like that. It's always great sending things in, because somebody might not want to take this list because I can only take one console and blah blah blah. That fucks me. But
for me with Stone Gauntlet, I can only take the next console I can take, I think, is a Emperor's Champion. That's it. But Centurion,
yeah, that's cool. All right. I think that's pretty much everything for this week. If we've missed anything,
couple of events.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I mean in terms of feedback.
No.
If you have sent us an email or a message on Facebook, just drop us another line and just let us know, and we'll definitely just because we just miss stuff. Like it's always fucking busy around here. So, all right. So on to events. How many events have we got this week?
We got 2 events. Coming up. So we've got Greg over at Imperial Truth.
Yep.
We've got his event, which is running on the... Sorry, I did have the details right in front of me, but they are eluding me right now. All right, so Greg's event from the Imperial Truth is Scorched Earth, and it's on the 8th, 9th of August at Firestorm Games in Cardiff. So that's going to be a great event. He's already got like a massive list of attendees already. So if there's any space, check out the page, download the player pack, and get down there. There's room. Looks like it's going to be good.
Yeah, that looks really good. Hopefully he gets a good turnout for that.
And, I think he's already got a good turnout.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he's got like a whole lot of names down here. List of attendees.
Sweet.
There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 players already, it looks like.
Holy shit.
A list of attendees.
Yeah, that's going pretty well.
So yeah, everyone get behind it. It should be good. Hopefully this is like gets Greg fired up, and this is the first of many awesome events that he's going to start that he can run.
Yeah, more events are better, obviously. And don't forget to check out the Imperial Truth podcast as well.
Yep, head on over there and have a look. Last event we have is the guys it's being held at Mugu Games over in Washington State in Squatch Country. We should just call it, they should just rename that state Squatch Country or President Squatchville or something.
I was reading a thing, I was watching TV show, and it was saying that in that area, that like Pacific Northwest, there's like something like 500 different geological features named after like primates and apes and shit, like Ape Hill and like Gorilla Vale or whatever the fuck.
Jeez, we should go. We should just say,
time,
go to this event. So A, we can also obviously have an awesome weekend of 30k, and B, like go hunt Squatch.
Yeah, and by hunt, what do you mean? Just wander around and fucking get terrified in the woods?
Yeah, and just like hit trees with sticks, like and shit that they like, and give them apples and stuff.
What if we find one of those super creepy fucking leaf nests that you keep talking about?
Just sleep in it and wait for them to come home. As long as it doesn't smell like shit, I'll sleep in it.
It will. It definitely will.
Yeah, I know, but
it smell like Bigfoot's dick.
Literally. All right, so this event is being held over 23rd, 24 May, 2-day event. So day one, I like this concept actually. The first game is 2,000 points. Second game is 2,500. Third game is 3,000 points. So that's all on the one day. And the next day, day 2, is 3,000 points per player for a massive apocalyptic showdown. So that sounds really good. That's $20. Check out Mugu Games for more details on that.
Yeah, excellent. Good. Yeah, 3,000 point games are going to be crazy. We need to get some 3,000 point games going here.
Yeah, I know. As soon as our table's done and our super heavies are up, that's it. That's all we'll be doing.
How many 3,000 point games do you think you could play in one day?
Properly?
Yeah.
2.
2?
Yep.
Is that all?
Yep.
Even if you started
we played 2,000 point games yesterday.
Yep.
We played 3, and I only got to play more than 4 turns in one of them.
You're playing against slow coaches there, weren't you?
The first game we had was a bit delayed by time.
Yeah.
So we started about half hour late.
Yeah.
I think, and time beat us before we... When I say that, it means we didn't get to variable turns.
Yeah.
Sort of. And in the second game, I think we did get to turn 3, and then time ran out, or turn 4.
Yeah.
And in the last game, we went to variable turns and time ran out. Oh, and ran out. The dice said, no more.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. There was a bunch of new players there, and we haven't played. We were probably playing a bit slow too because we haven't played in fucking few weeks or something like that. Yeah. The more people that are playing, the faster the meta gets. It's just like Warhammer Fantasy, like the more people playing, the more people talking about it, the more people sort of thinking about the enemy list.
Unless you
as
have
well.
to look up, and you know what the opposition's got. You don't have to think so much.
I find if people don't know about the stats of the enemy shit, then they're less then they'll spend more time going, oh, should I charge them? Oh, should I shoot them? Or should I shoot this or that?
You already know in your head what's a good matchup, what's a bad matchup.
Yeah.
What you don't want to happen, what you do want to happen.
Exactly. It just becomes faster. It's like fantasy. Like the more everyone sort of talks about it and gets the rules and shit. That's one of the reasons we wanted to start the podcast, just to get more sort of information out to people about all the armies and get people thinking about different lists and crazy shit like that. So
I think we're doing that.
And also so we can do Jaeger bombs and Sunday Armor and big shit.
Yeah, as we do. We just record it now.
Awesome. Well, that's it for this week.
Yeah, it's been another big show.
Keep the emails coming through. Yeah, this is going to be over like 2.5, over 2 hours, almost 3 hours. Fuck.
It's crazy.
Right. All right. So, keep the emails coming through. Keep the feedback coming through on Facebook. We're over... I think we're
650 likes or something.
650 likes now on Facebook. That's awesome.
So people like us. That's cool. I feel validated.
Yeah, totally. So I was speaking to JP from over at the Age of Darkness podcast. Search for that, Age of Darkness podcast. And he was saying that because we were talking about how we had 15 stars on iTunes.
Yeah.
We've actually got more than that.
Yes.
So what was happening is
You just made my week, man.
Yeah, all of the different zones, so like Australia, America, and by zones I mean countries.
Yeah.
They all have a different iTunes. So when I go on there and go, oh look, we've got 3 reviews and they're all 5 stars. That's rad. I'm only looking at the Australian one. So if you go to the UK and look for our podcast, we've got a whole fuckload of reviews. So there's like 7 or something, and then Canada there's a bunch.
7 is officially
now. And they're all 5 stars too. So it's over 35. We're over 50. We're probably over 60 stars easy.
Holy shit!
I didn't go through every single country to see if people in Zimbabwe. That's what I should have done.
That's the drama. Yeah.
Check Zimbabwe,
maybe. iTunes.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Okay. Well. I'll go back through every single country in iTunes and see how many stars we actually have, but I would say it'd definitely be over 50, I'd say.
Cool.
Fuck yeah.
Like Michelin stars.
# killing it. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher. Don't forget you can also listen to it on SoundCloud if you search Eye of Horus Podcast. Our Twitter address or Twitter name is @EyeofHorusPod. Eye of Horus Pod on Instagram as well. Instagram's going really well. We've got shitload of listeners, shitload of followers on there.
Cool.
Tumblr, Eye of Horus Podcast, and Facebook, Eye of Horus Podcast. So hit up the Facebook, give us a thumbs up or whatever that thing is called.
I think likes.
Oh, give us some likes. We're farming likes on there. That's all our social media. Hit us up on there, and we can have some chats. But keep the emails coming through.
Definitely.
And any questions like that, we're happy to give a shout out. And also, if you've got an event coming up,
Yeah, or a game group that you want some more advertising for, just to get spread the word.
Yeah. So Scott Robertson, who's up in the Sunshine Coast, they're organising a heresy campaign up there through their gaming group.
Yeah.
But he'll give us some details for that.
Sweet.
Might be able to get some extra players for that for him as well. So awesome. And don't forget, Felix, we love you.
Yeah, Felix.
I'm gonna Photoshop up like a General's pet picture, and we'll put that up on Facebook.
I like it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the support, and we'll talk to you later. And don't forget, Fully Painted is for closers.